Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday noon to talk basketball in the GOAT conversation. We apologize for coming on a little bit late as the time zone change has changed a little bit for some of us here, but we're all here like we are every Sunday to come with the real. We're going to talk about basketball today and a little bit of fun because we're going to discuss Michael Jordan selling his team or selling majority shares of the Charlotte Hornets. So we're going to get to that. We have our normal panel here as usual. We got my boy Ralph. What's good, Ralph?
What's going on, fellas? What's
Yeah.
going on, everybody?
You were missed last week, and people were asking about you. But welcome back. Appreciate you.
I
Appreciate you.
Ralph is
Appreciate
famous.
you. Yeah, Ralph is famous. Go James
try.
Kingdom famous.
I try to come back real quick at the end, but it was at.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't have enough time. I missed a lot, but hey, I'm here this week.
yeah, indeed, indeed. Hopefully we get Craig and some other folks in as we like we said. This is a live debate show, so we are
Yes,
opening up.
right
Oh,
there.
there go Craig right there. Okay, okay, with the Jays in the back, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You a Pittsburgh Steeler fan?
Nah, I just like got a
Oh,
lot
you
of
just like
hats.
that. You got like
I just got like hats.
it's got a lot of hats. Well, they're talking about hats as we tell y'all. Please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, share our content. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on TikTok, and you can also catch us right here on YouTube, where you can actually join our membership and you can get exclusive merchandise like Goat James Kingdom hats and T-shirts and other things that will be coming along with for you guys in 2023. So please make sure you guys check out our channel and make sure you hit the like button. And thanks everybody for supporting and subscribing. This week's show we're gonna have some fun with this week's show because obviously LeBron James is not playing, but the Lakers are still in the hunt for the playoffs. But the stand is a little bit crazy. Things are starting to clear up. We got like what 12 games left, 10 to 12 games left for most teams. But Milwaukee's clearly the number one team right now in the league. So if you could bring that up, Brandon, if you get a chance.
Bring it up now.
Boston is now the third best team in the East, behind Philly and Milwaukee, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's the thing now. Embiid is getting recognized for what's going on in Philadelphia. They are playing good basketball. They're winning games, right? The Knicks are playing good, like we said before.
Yep.
The Knicks are balling out.
James Harden going for the assist title.
He is. Wow, I didn't know that. Let me go look at who
Yeah,
he is.
he's
Yeah,
ahead of
James Harden been lead the league in assists, I
yeah,
thought.
he like 10.2 a game.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Halliburton at first.
Yeah, Halliburton is 10.1, I believe. So he's just like a tick above Halliburton. Remember, James had a 20 point,
Yeah, I like that
20
number
assist game
5
this
spot.
season.
Yes, there it goes right there, y'all. So as you can see, these are the new standings as of this morning after yesterday's games. I don't know if you guys got a chance to catch the Knicks game yesterday versus Denver. That was a good game. There was also some other games on yesterday. I think the Clippers lost last night, if I'm correct. But as you can see, the Eastern Conference is starting to shape up right now. As you can see, Philadelphia has jumped in front of Boston. Slightly because they have one less loss and they have one less win, but they also have one less loss. So that puts them ahead of them for now. But we have Miami slipping. We know Miami lost yesterday. That's what I was trying to forget about it. But we lost to Chicago, who put themselves in the play-in with that
Don't
win
forget
yesterday.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't forget about it.
And then we have some injury. I think Halliburton actually sprained his ankle, if I'm correct. And Marcus Smart is actually day to day with a bruised hip. And Ben Simmons is still out for the
Hold on.
Nets. Go ahead.
Hey, don't forget about my Knicks. How we got that W?
Right. It beat Denver.
How can I forget? My house was going crazy.
Yeah.
So listen, the
Yeah.
Knicks are looking good. They moved up to the 5th seed. They holding on to a good spot. They got a 3-game lead against Brooklyn and Miami in that position. Will they catch Cleveland? Who knows? There's still some games left, but the Knicks are looking good. The Knicks are definitely a contender. And then if we go to the West Coast has just gotten crazy. The West Coast is crazy. I don't even know what to say about the West Coast, man. I don't even know what to say about the it's just a crazy conference. Oh yeah, what's it called? Got hurt
Yeah.
too. Anthony Edwards is hurt. He's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah, they had to carry him out. Huh?
he's gonna be out. That was a great day. Good job. Keep it 100. Thank you for joining us as usual. Um, somebody says I might have to crash the party. Who is that? Who's that? Well, come crash the party then. Come join. I got a drink for you.
There's Anthony. I sent him the link.
Okay. All right. So, but Denver has fallen off, even though they still hold a good spot. I still think the surprise is Sacramento, because at the end of the day, we all thought Sacramento would fall, but going into 70 games, Sacramento is still right there. So they're not going nowhere. They're gonna be the top 3 seed, or at least top 2 seed.
Brown, coach of the year.
Mike Brown is considered coach of the year so far. So, what y'all think of the standings with 12 more games left? We got like 2 more weeks left for the season, 2-3 weeks. What y'all think?
Really?
Ralph, open your mouth and talk, Ralph. Can you hear us?
I think I'm lagging, man.
Oh, you
I
lagging?
think I'm lagging.
Yeah, you probably lagging.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Philly, and now I got the second best odds.
Hey, Brandon, I'm gonna drop out and come back in, man.
All right, cool. Yeah, it looks like Denver is dropping the ball, and Jokic he's second in MVP race now, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the Lakers are just terrible. They can't get right. So
that win would have put them in number 6 seed. If they would have won against Dallas,
they just blew 3 straight games. They literally blew 3 straight games. They're not trying to make the playoffs. They're just not trying to make the playoffs. So, and if they do get in, you can't even trust them. If you do get in, you can't even trust them because the way they play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We really can't trust the Lakers. I don't know what to say about the Lakers.
So it's the next year Lakers, because they said they're not going after Kyrie no more. They want to run it back. So it's the next year Lakers.
I don't know what to say about that. If Kyrie don't go to LA next year, who does he go to?
You better hope that they bring him back to the Mavs.
Mavs ain't gonna want him.
They gonna want him. They just not gonna want to pay him the max, which he think he deserves.
The only team not gonna offer him max is a team that ain't gonna make the playoffs.
Who knows if they offer him the max? You know.
My understanding is the Lakers are going to offer him the max per year, but with less years. That's what I was told. I didn't mean that.
Well, they just said that they're not going off of him.
That's what Brooklyn wanted to do, and he turned that down.
No, but he didn't want to play in Brooklyn. He was done with Brooklyn. He didn't want to play in Brooklyn. He was done with them. He wanted out.
Yeah, and that in the stipulations, but I mean.
Yeah. All right. What's good, Ralph? You back?
Yeah, that's a little better.
All right. Well, what you think about the standings and what's been going on these last couple of weeks with a couple of weeks left to go in the season?
I love how my Knicks is doing right about now. They're ahead of Miami. I'm gonna tell you
Knicks
that
are
right now.
Real good. Knicks are playing real good.
This Wednesday, young man. This Wednesday, I'm going to the Heat game with my wife, and we're gonna go watch the Knicks and the Heat play. And who?
You better hope the Knicks win. It's a win-win situation.
Dallas is, the thing is, I mean, I'm gonna say this: Dallas is a little concerning for me because they've been slipping lately. You know, they have not been consistently,
and we all know
playing great basketball.
Why? Because of Kyrie?
We all know why.
I just think they're not a good team. I think Dallas kind of gave away some good pieces to get Kyrie Irving that was kind of fitting for their team. And I don't know if Kyrie Irving is going to work out for them. I mean, the way I look at it right now, to be honest with you, the West is up in the air. Anybody in the West is literally a contender for the championship. There's not one team that I can look at in the West right now and say they're guaranteed to be in the finals. Not one. In the East, it's really Milwaukee. I think the Knicks are very dangerous. I believe Philadelphia is very dangerous. And Miami can be dangerous. We can be if things kind of.
Miami's not dangerous at all. So you just need to stop trying to boost them up. The Miami is as dangerous as the Bulls, and
Listen,
both
So
of
you
them
saying
not
it's
dangerous.
you need to go.
Boston?
You need to go back and hide behind your screen avatar. Who told you to come in with that conversation? Let my heat. Let my heat
No,
live.
no, my thing.
No,
I
not
think
you. That's
something
not you.
going on.
I'm talking about Brandon. Brandon was behind his avatar for a little bit just now. He just popped up to talk about my heat.
He
I
is
came
about as
in
like
behind my
dangerous as the
avatar.
Lakers right now.
Mm, mm.
You're just gonna be disappointed.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
not 2020.
Peace to Christopher on Facebook. Thank you. We look forward to coming with a show every week. So, well, we got some games later on. Let's get to the show. Brandon got a special show for us since I took most of the show last week. It's Brandon's turn, and we're gonna discuss Michael Jordan selling the majority shares of the Hornets. So, what you got for us, Brandon? Let's
Well,
discuss Michael
well,
Jordan.
I don't have any graphs today because I didn't feel like rushing to get them out. But this was before he sold the team that I was listening to Phil Jackson. I don't know if you posted this, Johnny, but Phil was saying how on that last play in the 98 finals, he told Michael Jordan like double back and like strip Karl Malone and
Mm-hmm,
basically do not call a timeout.
mm-hmm,
Go down there and take that last shot. So Phil Jackson really scripted that like play out for like Michael Jordan. So it like got me thinking about, how often did Michael Jordan be told what to do on the court? Like, LeBron James, his IQ, you know, is off the charts. He's able to see these things on his own. And, just looking back at Jordan's career, how he was told that he needs to pass the ball to John Paxson because he's wide the hell open, or he
mm-hmm.
needs to do certain things on the court. And, just listen to
Oh,
Phil talk about how like Scottie Pippen was like the determining factor. He does everything on the court, and Michael
mm-hmm.
Jordan is like just a scorer. And it just got me thinking like, was Michael Jordan really a good leader? You know, was he really a good leader? Was he just one of the pieces in the offense? Because when Phil Jackson came, they actually had Michael Jordan play a certain way, even though he just wanted to shoot the ball. He said he has to average at least 32 points a game. Michael Jordan was just, I'm just going to score at will,
That
but
was
he
his
needed
role.
someone else to like lead the team. And I know we talked about how Pippen came. He only averaged a few points a game his rookie season, and Jordan didn't really need him to win. Jordan did all that on his own. And when we look at what happened in the 1988 playoffs, when Phil started Pippen in that game 5, Pippen had 24 and 6. Like he was really good in that game 5. One of the reasons why they won the game and
It wasn't
advanced to the
Phil.
second round.
It was Doug Collins. Doug Collins was the coach.
Oh, okay, it
Yeah.
was Doug.
Yeah,
My
Doug
bad, Doug.
Collins
I'm
in
talking about.
'88. Yeah.
But Phil, Doug. Anyway, Pippen was
Mm-hmm.
like really important in that piece. And then looking at what happened in the 1990 Eastern Conference Finals, when Pippen wasn't able to perform at his top notch performance as he always been throughout the series, Michael Jordan couldn't really lead them above without Pippen. So we all know that Pippen been in the media saying he's just as great as Jordan was. He was just as important as Jordan was. And everybody, been laughing at him and calling him crazy, bitter, and jealous. But when you look back on the things, Pippen was very important for that team. Without Pippen, Michael Jordan said he would not have won all those titles.
Facts. And I'm gonna say this. I mean, important. I agree. He's definitely important to that team. As good, I don't know about that now. I think he was
Yeah,
stretch Armstrong
he
with that
definitely
quote.
wasn't as good. Just like Stockton was not as good as Karl Malone. Like
Facts.
that's just not real. But
I think he was stretch Armstrong with that reach, bro.
yeah, but I really do think Pippen was that leader on that team.
But I think what he meant by he was as good as Michael Jordan was not that he was as good as far as scoring as Michael Jordan, meaning his ability to win a game, to to affect the game the way Michael Jordan affects the game. I think he believes that he could have took the Bulls to a 72-10, victory. Like he believes he could have led the Bulls to championships. That Michael Jordan could have.
I think
that's how
he could have led the Bulls to titles. Yeah, that's what
that's how he feels. That's how he feels. I don't know about 6 titles as the leader, as far as. I mean, again, he is the leader of the team because I think even Kukoc said it. I think Kukoc said that in all reality, in the locker room, Scottie Pippen was the leader of the team. Like, you couldn't talk to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a star. People don't understand that. He was there's only certain people in the world that had that star ability that Michael Jordan had, man. Not too many people can have access to Michael Jordan, even his teammates. So
yeah, like it's it's no knock on Jordan because he needed those pieces. Jerry Krause put together this team for him, and he knew what Jordan needed. And I don't know if Jordan ever understood that. Jordan does not have an eye for talent. We all know Jordan do not have an eye for talent. He drafted the biggest bust in NBA history in Washington. They literally fired Michael Jordan because he did such a bad job. The teammates didn't want to play with him because he didn't have that management setting up things for him. He did it himself. He doesn't have an eye for talent. Jerry Krause came in and traded away all his friends because he knew what Jordan needed. And while Jordan is running his own team for 13 years, 2 playoff appearances and 3 total games won, like Jordan do not have an eye for talent. We could easily say LeBron has a better eye for talent than Michael Jordan, and LeBron is a player. Jordan traded away the best player that his franchise ever drafted.
Who was that?
Shea.
SGA.
But
Yeah,
no
the
one knew
dude
what
is
he was
averaging.
going to be. I thought.
And then, I mean, the dude, his second year was averaging 20, so he was really good. Plus, he come from like Kentucky. You can't really trade those players away. But and then the only reason,
LeBron though.
yeah, the only reason he got LaMelo Ball because 3 idiots passed on him. I wouldn't say Memphis was stupid because and is really good, but it literally fell on Jordan. He didn't have a choice but to draft LaMelo.
Golden
So
State didn't have a need for LaMelo.
I mean, they really could have used LaMelo. LaMelo is a different type of player. And look at what they did with Wiseman. The dude couldn't even really play on the team. Like he didn't fit. They just traded him away. So if we look at his draft picks throughout the years,
who did they trade for SGA for? What did they get in return? Was it Rozier? No, Rozier was.
No, I forgot.
I thought he got drafted by the Clippers.
No, they traded him to the Clippers. He got drafted number 11 by the Hornets. So as we see, Jordan do not have that eye for talent, and Jordan never really put his stamp on the game as a leader. When you really take everything into context about, he didn't have the players early on in his career. That's what we all can say. But when the Bulls were forming, they really formed it around an offense that just added Jordan as the main scorer, and that was Jordan's job. And when you listen to other players like Reggie Miller, John Stockton, they were talking about how difficult it was and how Pippen changed the whole game. And even Reggie said Jordan couldn't even guard him. He was giving Jordan buckets all the time. But when Pippen would guard him, it will be a different story. When Pippen ran the offense, it's a different story. I was listening to this one interview Jordan gave after 93, I believe. And, Jordan is so arrogant, it's hilarious. But, that's Jordan. That's just Michael Jordan. He was talking about the last play of the game, and he was saying the play was supposed to be for him. But Horace Grant caught the ball, and Horace Grant was so scared that he passed the ball. Like, that's how Jordan is. Like, why would you say
Oh my God.
Horace Grant was scared and he passed the ball to wide open John Paxson. So they had Jack Ransby on it, Boston old coach. And Jordan was saying how since he won 3 titles, that his team has to be up there as the greatest teams of all time because Magic, Isaiah, and Bird didn't do that. So they asked Jack Gransby how good the
The whole
Bulls
thing.
was.
Say he didn't just say that. All right, I know what you're doing. He didn't just say that. He also said he's not campaigning that he's the best in the world. He's not saying that.
I'm not talking about how he's the best. I said I didn't say that. I said, what you talking about? I
I
said
know,
his
but you
team should
skipping
be one of the
over.
best
You
players.
skipping over when he mentioned that his teams is the best ever. But he would to say that he was braggadocious, but he did be humble and said he's not campaigning that they're the best in the world. He just want to be put up there as the best because he did 3
one of the best.
Magic and Bird didn't.
I said he said he put up his team because he's one of the best. I didn't say he was the best. Anyway, I say that he said he was one of the best because Magic, Bird, and Isaiah did not three-peat. So Jack Gransby was on there, and they asked him, "Was the Bulls one of the best teams of all time?" And his kind of reason was hilarious. He said, "No, because in the fourth quarter, nobody could score but Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan scored 12 of the 15 points, and the only shot that was made outside of Jordan was that Paxson last shot." So he was saying that they're more of a one man team, which I don't believe that anyway. I believe that the Bulls obviously one of the best teams of all time, but that's just how like the older generation thought of the Bulls, just like they think of the teams today. So it's kind of funny in that sense. But like I was saying, Pippen was more of a leader to me. Well, it's obvious most of the players think that as well than Michael Jordan.
I was gonna tell you this. SGA was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in the first round in 2018, but they traded him draft day for Miles Bridges. Is it Miles Bridges, the dude that got suspended and because of the charge he caught? Right, that's the same guy, right?
I think talent wise, that wasn't a bad trade, but overall it is a bad trade.
Ralph, that was a horrible trade, Ralph.
I mean,
Bridges is not close to.
The thing is,
hindsight, it's a horrible trade.
It's like if you're comparing the players, of course you could say it's a horrible trade, but with Miles Bridges fitting into that system and being the leading scorer of that team, I think last year was the year where he was gonna make his breakout, but he got in trouble. We don't know what he would have done this year.
Said that if they would have made the trade, you said a couple of years down the road, this player is going to get not going to play because of personal reasons where he can possibly miss a whole season. But this player is going to turn out.
Jordan has several players that are in that category.
I'm not going to deny that.
Everybody knows
it's obvious. So it's obviously he's obviously, like Brandon said, he's obviously bad at picking talent. He's obviously bad at observing talent, or even listening to scouts, which is what Charles Barkley said about him, which is why you don't talk to Charles Barkley now. That he doesn't put people in positions in his franchise that will allow him to make the right decisions. He has a bunch of yes men, so he doesn't talk to Charles Barkley because of that. I mean, like that's what Charles Barkley said. Like he was here. It's been years doing that. So Michael Jordan, and if we go back to Washington, him drafting Kwame Brown, that was an iffy pick too. Why did you pick Kwame Brown? Even though Kwame Brown did ball out in the All-American thing and in the scouting reports and in the workouts, Kwame Brown was balling. But technically, Jordan wanted players on the Bulls that Jerry Krause didn't want to get, and Jordan got mad at Jerry Krause. He didn't like Kukoc, which Jerry Krause kept telling him Kukoc is going to be the next best thing, and Kukoc was that. That's exactly what Kukoc was.
Well, it was him and Pippen. Pippen didn't like him either.
Well, yeah, Pippen was mad because obviously you're bringing somebody that's taking my position, and you didn't want to pay me the money. You don't want to re-sign me and give me the money I earned. That was Pippen's real beef.
They told him to wait for the money.
No, he didn't. They said sign the 7-year deal.
Yeah,
all I know is my boss told me not to sign this contract. I ain't gonna sign it.
His boss was Krause. What are you talking about?
The Pippen situation, that was Pippen's fault because he was even told that he shouldn't.
The owner told him don't sign the contract.
Yeah, that's
everybody told him not to sign it. But dude said we honestly think Pippen was the leader of the Bulls. Like the Bulls players say that. So
yeah. Somebody said Barkley said that he would have beat Jordan if he had Pippen, and somebody said he did have Pippen in I guess in '99. That was supposed to be when Barkley had Pippen. But
yeah,
No, but I mean, I'm
years later.
being real. I mean, I brought this up before. I know that, you know, a lot of MJ fans want to challenge me with this stuff, but this is the stuff that we have to talk about. I mean, I spent a few hours on Ralph's Live the other day and hearing all these people talk all this negative about players. But when we start talking negative about Jordan, now all of a sudden, all the excuses and all the context comes out, and now he's selling the team. And because he's making billions of dollars, it's not a sign of him quitting. He's literally quitting. He's never done anything successful as an owner in basketball, and he's quitting right now. That's what I see it as.
He's not quitting. It was an investment.
He doesn't want to run the team no more. He doesn't want to run the team no more.
He's not selling the whole team.
He doesn't want to run the team no more.
He doesn't want to run the team. That's it. That's why he's selling majority. He's going to make money off the team because he's still going to own some shares, but he's not going to be.
Yeah, he's not going to run the team.
Owner. He's not going to add. He's not going to go to practice.
Jordan quits everything he do.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan quit. He quit the owner here. I mean, watch that he didn't quit. He just got fired. So that's even worse. You know, he quit in '98 because they wasn't bringing about who they want. He quit baseball. He planned on quitting before, you know, his father passed away. I mean, Jordan, even in college, he wasn't able to lead his team to a title. That was James Worthy. Like,
I got a quote. I got a quote from Michael Jordan that I have not posted yet because I'm still trying to clarify this post. And supposedly Michael Jordan stated before '93, there was years before that he was going to only play another like 4 or 5 years and quit because he didn't like the way the Bulls management was running things and he didn't like what they were doing and he felt that they were just using him to sell tickets and that he didn't see himself playing longer than another 4 or 5 years. Now I didn't get a chance to actually verify that quote and where it came from, but when I do, I'll let y'all know.
You can't really do that with Jordan. You have to have his words because no one.
No, it's his words. It was about. It's his
I'm just saying you have to have his words. Him saying it before anybody believe that.
But even when he says it, they don't believe he said it. I had somebody tell me that there is no actual validity of him talking about the zone defense when the credible news reporter and a publication stated that he stated they quoted Michael Jordan saying it. So. You know, some of these fans they don't like facts.
Till Jordan come to their house and tell them they're not going to believe it.
All right, this is the quote I have, y'all. Let me give it to y'all. Here goes. It says, quote, 5 more years and I'm out of here. I'm making these days on my calendar. I'm marking these days on my calendar. Like I'm in jail. I'm tired of being used by this organization, by the league, by the writers, by everyone. End quote. Then he starts again and says, quote, they're not interested in winning. They just want to sell tickets, which they can do because of me. They won't make any deals to make us better. This coach thing, I hate that. They're spending all their time chasing this guy, end quote. Michael Jordan, 1990. Again, I don't know where this quote came from, but I'm going to definitely try to see if I can find it.
This must be before the playoffs because they had a chance to win a title that year. They was probably the best team that year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I gotta find that article.
If he did say this.
Yeah, he said something like that because that was the whole thing. It was the whole thing about Kukoc because they was losing and they was worried about getting a player that had to wait years for him to come play.
That's true.
So they spending all that time going after a guy that can't help right now. What is you really doing?
That makes sense. That makes sense because Kukoc didn't play till like 3-4 years later.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't actually didn't enter the league till 94.
He got drafted in 92.
He played well in 95. He was 6th man of the year in 96. And when the Bulls
he made that quote in 90.
No, I know that. No, they drafted because they drafted Kukoc in
1991. I thought.
No, 1990. I
thought it was 92.
No, it's 1990 draft. They drafted him in the 1990. That was the only pick they had in the 1990 draft, and they drafted Kukoc in the 2nd round. And that's what I think Michael Jordan was mad about because he felt like, okay, you didn't do anything. But mind you, in 89 they did something, in 88 they did something, in 87 they did something, in 86 they did something. So every year prior to that, the Bulls were actually getting better, and they were actually, at that point.
Yeah, because everybody that they got helped right now, not 5 years from now.
Well, not to y'all, because supposedly Pippen, how long did it take Pippen to get there? Because supposedly Pippen got drafted in 88. So it took 2 years for Pippen to be good. You couldn't wait 2
Yeah, but
years.
Pippen played. He's seen how Pippen game was. He can't see up to 90.
Kukoc, because you can see Kukoc's game. Kukoc was playing professional basketball overseas, and he was actually one of the best
he's
players
playing overseas. He's not playing in the
That
Bulls
makes
system.
sense. You know, who wants to wait four years for somebody to come help your team when you could get somebody right now so they can win a title? So I can understand what Jordan meant.
So Jordan was doing the LeBron thing instead of waiting for Cleveland. Okay.
Kukoc got drafted in 1990, so it was 4 years before he played.
Yeah.
You know, that makes sense. That's what they do to athletes. That's why Barry Sanders, retired. I mean, so early because the organization wasn't trying to win. They're just trying to sell tickets.
And now they starting as young as middle school.
I don't know about that. I think Jerry Krause was trying to win, and I think that if Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were more favorable to Kukoc, he probably would have got to the Bulls earlier because it wasn't like he could have went to the Bulls after 90. They drafted him to have the rights to him. He could have came to the NBA at that time. He didn't want to come to the NBA because he didn't know if he was ready for the NBA. So if Michael Jordan and them
so you wasted a draft pick. If the guy telling you I'm not ready,
well, but I need this guy because I don't know about this kid. This guy Michael Jordan is gambling at night and he's not doing what I need to be. I don't know if Michael Jordan's going to get us there. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know if Jordan's going to get us there. He just choked in the 1990 conference finals. I don't know if he's going to get us there.
He choked in the 1990. Wow.
Yeah, he did. He did choke. Game 7. He couldn't get his team past the Game 7. Y'all gonna blame Scottie Pippen, but Michael Jordan should have scored 40 points or 50 points and won that game. He didn't do that. He scored less than his average. He scored less than his playoff average and his season average in that game.
Y'all don't give him credit when he do it. He averaged 41 in the whole finals. Everybody here is John Paxson. Like, come on.
I'm not saying that.
All John Paxson.
That was in the series.
Game 7.
That was in the series. He hit. That was in the series. John Paxson hit the.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was.
You're right. It was.
All he did was prevent a Game 7, and that's all he did.
Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, I understand what Jordan was saying. Like, that's what was going on. Like, he didn't feel like they had the right team around him because Jerry Krause, no one knew how smart he was, and he wasn't going to get any of his buddies to help him win. Jerry Krause was going to do it his way,
exactly,
and that's why it was a lot of resentment.
Yeah,
no one knew how smart Jerry Krause was.
Jordan was mad because he went and got Cartwright, and Jordan didn't think Cartwright could help him win a championship, and Cartwright helped him win 3 championships. He wouldn't have won 3 championships with Oakley. He didn't want them to go draft Pippen. He wanted them to draft other players from North Carolina and stuff like that. And Krause was not listening to him. That's what y'all don't get. Krause was doing the right things for the Bulls. Jordan didn't care about the Bulls. Jordan cared about his image and his selling shoes.
Krause did the right thing for Jordan, which he didn't. He probably realized now the team he put on the court was best for Jordan, but they just clashed because they didn't understand each other. That's basically what it was.
Yeah. That
team that they put out on the court is probably the greatest team to ever play basketball. They held multiple teams that you could say is the greatest teams of all time, but they clashed so much that they didn't know what they had on the court other than Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause knew what they had.
No, they clashed more because they wanted the same amount of credit. Clash for getting the players and Jordan for the players.
Jerry Krause didn't get no credit back in the day. He didn't get no credit.
He still don't get credit now.
And that's why he wanted to break it up because he wasn't getting the credit. He was like, "Oh, fine, y'all don't give me credit for getting these players."
He saw the writing on the wall. He tried to get Tracy McGrady. Literally tried to get Tracy McGrady for Michael Jordan. Come on now.
The Bulls. He helped the Bulls out, and even after that, he ended up getting Elton Brand, Jamal Crawford, Ron Artest. All those guys were all good,
really good players.
They were he drafted player after player for the Bulls. Jerry Krause is a Hall of Fame GM for the right reasons, beyond it, because he didn't even draft Michael Jordan. Mind you that. Jerry Krause did not draft Michael Jordan.
Man, just imagine if they did have a young Tracy McGrady that Jordan could mold and someone that Tracy McGrady looked up to. He would follow Michael Jordan's every damn word.
But you can't do that because Michael Jordan doesn't have that ability, as we can see.
Well, he made Pippen who he was.
That's not what he didn't. Somebody here just wrote now, Pippen in 1990 Eastern Conference Finals Game 7 played 42 minutes and had 2 points. So again, Pippen is the reason why the Bulls win and lose.
Who said that?
It's up there. The Kobe lover. and the LeBron hater.
Let me see. He's talking about time when Pippen had that migraine.
Yeah, when Pippen had the migraine, he toughed it out, played 42 minutes with a migraine. He couldn't see it, but it's his fault because Michael Jordan couldn't go for 45 and win the game for him. He averaged 40 against Barkley, but couldn't do 40 against Detroit. I find that weird.
Yeah, it's the same people who say LeBron choked versus the Magics.
I mean,
well, nah, I don't agree with the Magic.
You know, I don't think he choked. I just think that was how valuable Scottie Pippen was to that squad.
Yeah,
that's how valuable Scottie Pippen was.
I mean, if your second best player is not playing well, of course you're gonna lose.
It's like, I mean,
I'm sorry.
I feel like we don't give LeBron any credit for like Dwayne Wade playing like that versus the Spurs, and when Bosh scored 0 points in the game 7 versus the Spurs. Like, we don't give LeBron this credit. Your second best player is trash in a game you need to win.
That's it. That was Michael Jordan's biggest game at that time of his career. That game 7 Eastern Conference Finals versus Detroit. You lost to them 2 years in a row. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your year. You're averaging 32 and 8 and 8. I mean, no, this is the year after that. I mean, you've done everything. You went MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. You're winning scoring titles. Your team this is the moment. This is your moment to do what you're supposed to do, and you didn't do it. This is what y'all were talking about in your live, Ralph, about being stepping up at the right moments, because y'all like to bring up this thing about playoffs, but that right there is an excuse. Michael Jordan did not step up in a game 7 when his team needed him the most.
The thing is with that 2014, I mean, it's not like his players played bad overall. They did play good.
Played terrible. Who played
terrible?
Good?
They played
Chris
terrible.
Bosh had good shooting splits. He shot 54.9. He shot 38.5 from the 3-point line, 81.8.
How many points did he average per game? How many points did he average per game?
He averaged 14 because he didn't have enough attempts that he put up.
Okay, how many points per game did
Isn't that what I told you about Wilt Chamberlain yesterday?
Yeah, 15 a game.
A lot because of attempts.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 a game.
14 and 15 is not a lot as a second and third option in a series.
What series you was talking about, Johnny, that you say he choked? 1990?
1990, game 7. Game 7.
Now,
Jordan did have 30-something points that game, but they got blew out though. They got blew out. You know, he didn't have Pippen.
So that means Pippen's the reason why they win and lose. Because if he's the reason why they lost, and he's the reason why they win. Because from my understanding, Michael Jordan's will, his aggression, his tenacity, his all of this is why Michael Jordan won 6 straight championships. Because supposedly when he gets to the finals, it's no question. When he gets to the finals, it's no question. He's going to win it for you.
It's the same thing with that series, because Pippen averaged 16 for the series, but he shot worse than LeBron's teammates. He shot 42% from the field, 30% from the 3-point line, and 75% from the free throw line.
But they were in a game 7. He were getting blown out. He was getting blown out. They were in a game 7, and he lost that game 7. And I believe they were in their crib. They lost that game 7. We're talking about the game 7. We're talking about the fact that the Bulls needed one game to win, and Michael Jordan could not step up and outperform his own performances to actually.
So he never won a game 7. The way you talking,
I'm talking about that game 7. That's where he choked. That game 7.
So here's the thing: you saying he choked? He shot 48% from the field. Mm-hmm. He didn't shoot good from the 3-point line, and he shot 100% from the free throw line, and everybody else was trash. So how you gonna say Jordan choked? No,
I'm gonna tell you why.
How you gonna say he choked?
He choked because he averaged 36.7 points per game in that playoff and scored 31 points.
His team choked because his team
you said game 7. You said game 7. He did not choke. You can't say he choked because he shot 48% from the field.
He shot 51% during that playoff, and 48 is less. That means he did not step up. It is
so that means his team choked, because if they lost the game,
his team didn't perform.
No, it's not his team. So that means Jordan wins because of his teams. Then that means Jordan wins because of his teams.
Everybody needs help. What are you talking about? Everybody needs help.
No, because that's not why Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan's not the GOAT because he won 6 championships because of his team. Jordan's the GOAT because he is the reason why his teams win 6 championships. This is why you guys come on our show and
what are you talking about? We never said that.
When did I say Jordan scored 120 points? When did I say Jordan scored 120 points?
Listen, Michael Jordan goes into a game 7 where in that playoff he's averaging over 30.
And Michael Jordan went to a game 6 when he scored half his team points and won.
He goes into a game 7, the most important game
and
of his
career. And he did it better in a championship game.
He doesn't step up and perform.
He scored half his team points in game 6 and won a title.
Let me give you another example. In 1962, in a game 7, Bill Russell goes up for 30 and 40 to win the NBA championship.
Jordan in a game 6, no game 7, scored 45 of his team, 86 points, and won a 6 championship. No game 7.
He is on a team.
No game 7.
On a team that's doing that. He is
not. Did Pippen have a bad back that game?
So where was the 45 in 1990? So where was the 45?
What did Pippen do? 8 points?
Was the 45 in 1990?
8
Where
points.
was the 45 in 1990? Don't do me that because I can go to LeBron James scoring 49.
Hold on. Jordan almost scored half of the points that game.
Oh my God. Jordan literally lost the game by double digits. He did not help his team do nothing. Him taking 20-something shots and scoring 30 points.
It helped him in 98. It helped him in 98.
Hold on.
50-50.
Yo, the Chicago Bulls scored 74 points. Jordan scored 31. What are we talking about?
Jordan choking. That's choking.
How is that choking? His team didn't help him.
Oh, so there you go again. Michael Jordan only wins when his team is good. Not because Michael Jordan could go out there and score 30. Not because Michael Jordan could go out there and shoot 50% from the field.
He scored 45.
Michael Jordan, like we just said,
45.
The whole show was predicated exactly off of this. Michael Jordan benefited from having a good coach, a good team, and that's why Jordan won.
Hold on.
He cannot do
if you want to go
anything.
there,
a good team scores 47 points in the final game. That's a good team.
2014, LeBron scored 31. They scored 87. Why he couldn't score close to half to win?
We just told you that. We're not the ones who sit here and tell you LeBron James goes out there and wins championships by himself. We've never told you that.
We've never said that either.
No.
We didn't say that.
You guys, yes, you guys do. Because
don't. We never said that.
Okay, so when somebody does more, so Jordan does more in less seasons because he had more in less seasons, not because Jordan is better than LeBron. Because when Craig sits here and tells us that Jordan won more in less seasons, it's because he thinks that it's because of Jordan that they won those championships.
No, that's a comparison between both players. What are you talking about?
Why is it a comparison when it's not Jordan's responsibility to win it? Why are you using it then? If it's not Jordan's purpose of that.
Because you compare both players on what they did. What are you talking about?
Jordan didn't do the 6 championships. The Bulls did.
Well, LeBron didn't do the 4 championships.
And that's why we never use 4 championships, so why LeBron's the GOAT.
Oh, my God.
No?
Get you right there.
Huh? No?
Get you right there.
Huh? No? Am I wrong?
Yes. But we said that. I didn't say that.
LeBron's the GOAT because he's a 4-time champion. We tell you
LeBron's the GOAT because he's the player that had 4 final MVPs.
Have I said that?
I heard he's the GOAT because he got 4 final MVPs on 3 different teams.
The things that we make LeBron James the GOAT for is because LeBron James is solely responsible for. And you guys say those don't count. What counts is winning.
He's solely
responsible
for
and Michael Jordan's winning, it only counts because
he's
Michael
solely
Jordan
responsible for what? Hold on. He's solely responsible for what?
He's solely responsible for all the greatness that he's done. 38, 10, and 10. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Playing 20 NBA.
No, because you need teammates for assists. You need teammates for assists.
All-NBAs.
You need teammates for assists.
Everything that we
if a
named to
teammate don't score, that's not an assist.
Listen, if LeBron James is on the basketball court, his production is there. That's what we talk about. He does more on the basketball court than Michael Jordan. When we say that, your quick and only response is Michael Jordan winning 6 times. Here, 20 minutes ago, you just stated that the only reason Jordan was winning because of his team. So it's not Jordan's 6 championships. It is the Bulls' 6 championships.
Because when we use his personal stats, they don't count. Everything he did that doesn't involve teammates don't count.
Because Jordan's personal stats do not match up to Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to any other player, even Kobe Bryant, all these other players.
Here's the problem that I have. Anytime we bring up what Jordan do better than LeBron, you always want to bring up somebody else. We're not talking about those people. You always do that.
What do Jordan do better than LeBron?
Thank you.
Thank you. And anytime we say he does more than less, when we say he does more than less.
No, what do Jordan do better than LeBron? I'm not talking about what he did in the 90s.
I'm telling you, when you say that Jordan did more in less time than LeBron, then you want to bring up somebody else outside the picture.
No, what do Jordan do better than LeBron?
Everything that he accomplished in a small amount of time.
Okay, that's not saying what he did. That's saying what he did in his era. What did Jordan do better than LeBron?
No. I didn't say in his era. I said it less.
That's the only thing he did. He accomplished more in his era because his era was not.
He accomplished in less time. In 930 games, he accomplished a whole lot more than he accomplished more in that small amount of time than LeBron did that he did in 20 years.
Jordan played
what did he accomplish? I mean, I'm still trying to hear.
I know what he played. You're not listening. I said what he accomplished in 930 games, because if you look at the whole career, the only thing that he accomplished was 2 All-Star appearances with the Wizards. The rest was in 930 games. What did he accomplish more than LeBron?
What did he accomplish more than LeBron?
I said he accomplished more in less than LeBron had to accomplish.
Okay, what are those things?
LeBron had to play more. He had to play more seasons to accomplish what he did as far as the all.
Okay, what are those things that Michael Jordan accomplished more than LeBron?
Only MVP. That's it. The MVP.
Final MVPs.
Teams.
Yeah.
So everything that the media voted on in his era.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. See, this is what we're talking about.
But the Hall of
This is what we're talking about. You can't accept that he accomplished that. You can't accept that he accomplished it, but you want to go, oh, he made 18 All-NBAs. Isn't that media too?
Okay,
LeBron has more All-Stars and more All-NBAs. So that's a wash. So Jordan has more All-Defensive selections and more MVPs, and LeBron has more All-NBAs and more All-Star selections. What else?
Defensive Player of the Year, steals title.
He got one steal Defensive Player of the Year. Go again. Okay, go ahead.
We all know why he got that. Come on.
Again, and now you're asking LeBron to do something. That's what we talked about, because now you're bringing up something that Jordan should have as a guard, and LeBron more likely is not going to have as a forward.
LeBron could do it. LeBron could do it.
That's like saying Jordan should have an assist title, but he can't because he's a shooting guard.
All right, so show me a LeBron season when he averaged 32, 8, and 8.
See, this is what y'all want to do. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what y'all want to do.
That's like saying, show me a season that Jordan averaged 25 and 10. Like, okay, like both of them did things that the other didn't do.
That's what I'm saying. They both did stuff that the other person never did. The real crux of your argument has always been the winning. It has never been the fact Jordan averaged 32 and 8 and 8 and 1 NBA.
No, because when we bring up stuff he did when he was losing, that's it. Well, he didn't even make the finals that year. Show me a season better than the 87-88 season that does not involve any teammates.
The 2018 LeBron James season. That 2018 LeBron
what did he get for doing that? What did he get for doing that? And don't say conference titles.
The same thing Jordan got for the thing. Nothing.
He got MVP.
Again, you're giving him 1987. Jordan wasn't MVP. MVP Jordan was an MVP in 87.
I said 87-88 season.
Okay, 87, the 2009 season. LeBron James.
He won Defensive Player of the Year.
He won 66 games. He won 66 games.
That's team.
That's a team. That's a team. That's a team.
You need a team for that.
You just said team.
I'm telling you, MVP. You don't need team for MVP.
So because Jordan, so LeBron was saying LeBron has to win scoring titles as a forward, which is a guy that's not scoring. You're asking him to win a scoring title every year, like Jordan. That's what Jordan does. He's a shooter. He's good. That's like asking LeBron.
But y'all brag like he the all-time leader scorer, though.
He is the all-time leading scorer.
Okay, so why?
He didn't just focus on scoring. He was a passer as well.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
He doesn't have to have a scoring title to be a good scorer. Just because you beat everybody else in points per game in a season doesn't make you a better scorer.
How many points? How many points does LeBron James got right now? How many points he got right now total?
LeBron James has over 38,000 points.
No, I'm talking about this season.
I don't know how much he has this season.
What's his average?
1,300. He averages 29.5. 29.5.
He averages.
You know his average, but you don't know his total. How many points he has?
Let's say he has between 1,200 and 1,300.
You know his average more than you know his total.
But you know plenty of people's totals for their careers, but you don't know their average. You don't know Kareem.
Okay, no. Because you say that we don't know his total because those increases game by game, that it doesn't matter. Is that what you're saying?
Craig's question has never been answered, by the way. His question never been answered.
What question?
Ask the question again, Craig.
I just gave you 1989, 2009 when he was the league MVP. You said that's not enough, but you want him to win a scoring title.
I didn't even mention scoring title. I mentioned defensive player of the year.
So as defensive player of the year. So he gets the defensive player of the year, which LeBron didn't get because the media doesn't vote that for LeBron James. Because in 2013, LeBron James should have MVP.
Show me a season where he had 200 blocks and 100 steals.
What? So 200. Hold on. 200 steals and 100 blocks means what?
Only 3 people accomplished that.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Out of how many NBA players accomplished that, and one player did it twice.
All right.
So just because he had 200 steals
and the player that did that led the league in scoring. So you was the best defender and the best scorer. So you was the two-way player.
Okay. Let me answer that question. So in 1987, when he had 2,000 steals and 1,000 blocks, why didn't he make an all-defensive team?
Who?
Michael Jordan. In 1987, when he did that for the first time, why did he make an all-defensive team or defensive player of the year?
Because they must have better defenders than him at that time.
But
so then when he did it the next year, he's the best defender? Like, what's the difference?
What do you mean, what's the difference?
I don't know.
He was the best.
Wait, hold on. What year you talking about?
1987 when he did it for the first time.
Jordan had 200 steals and 100 blocks. The first time that anybody ever did that, but he wasn't on the all-defensive team, nor did he win Defensive Player of the Year. So how significant is that stat if it doesn't result?
All right, I can answer that. I can answer that because the next year his averages and steals and blocks were better.
Okay, Craig just said because he had 2,000 steals and 100 blocks that was the best defender. How are you the best defender and you're not even an all-defensive player on the all-defensive team? So that just means that it wasn't that important.
What do you mean? He just told you he averaged higher this next season.
How's it important?
The reason why, the answer to your question, Brandon, the question to your when you said how come he didn't make the all defensive team in 87 compared to 88, the reason why is because in 88 his averages was up and he still accomplished the same thing. There were other players in 87
blocks is not that important.
Exactly.
That's all I hear. That's all you're saying.
Yeah, you're saying it's not important.
I understand how totals is not important in career factor, but it's important during the season because I can easily twist this up. I can easily twist this up and say, well, how many seasons?
I didn't say that was the most.
We never said that. I
never said that was the most of the season. I said he just did that.
You said that only 3. You said only 3 players done that, but I can tell you.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they supposed to lead the league in steals and blocks.
How many seasons does Jordan have with 2,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists?
I would say he got 2 seasons.
Okay, LeBron James has 7 seasons like that. So if we go off, so can I use that since you want to use the 3 seasons? That gives LeBron 5 more over Jordan, and you want to use your little 3 of 200 and 100. But I'm giving you 2,500 and 500.
How many players have done that though? How many players had 2,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists?
4 players. That's Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. This guy, well, that's since the merger because if we want to go to Wilt Chamberlain's probably done it before as well too. but it's still something that LeBron done the most. So, like, what I mean, like,
I'm mentioning something LeBron never did.
No,
you comparing how many times they did it together. I'm saying LeBron
Jordan accomplished. I see where you go. Jordan did it as well as LeBron, but LeBron never did it what Craig is saying.
Okay, but Jordan never did as much as LeBron has did it.
But so he did it though.
More, no, but we're talking about seasons because he's bringing up the seasons. He's bringing up those 3 seasons. That's not
what he's talking about.
No. Okay, so but those extra 5 seasons, LeBron has those extra 5 seasons on Jordan.
But Jordan did it. It only take 1 season for it to happen one time. LeBron played 19 and haven't done it at all. That's the difference.
But why does it matter that he? That's what I'm saying. Why does he have to do that? But Jordan never had to do that as much as LeBron. That's what I'm saying. Why doesn't Jordan have to have 2,500 and 500 7 times like LeBron? Why does LeBron have to have at least one of those 200, 100 seasons, but Jordan can't have 7?
Because it proves that at least he's done it. At least he's done it.
And again, he is a small forward. They're not likely.
Small forwards don't play defense.
Small forwards are not going to more than likely get you that many blocks per game to get you over 100 and things like that.
So a shooting guard who's smaller can get you more blocks per game, but a small forward who's bigger. 6'9", 270. He can't get you 200. He can't get you 100
That was
blocks.
Great. Jordan was able to block 6'3" defenders' shots. Great.
That's great. The centers too, man. Don't do that.
And then LeBron blocks centers too.
But not enough. Not enough for one season.
They don't want to block for their career. They both average blocks for their career.
Man, for a career, LeBron's the only person with 2,100 steals and 1,100 blocks. That's the only person who ever to do that. Okay, so you're talking about
LeBron don't have 1,100 blocks.
Seasons to do it.
LeBron don't have 1,100 blocks.
How many seasons he done it? I'm going by one season. 1 season, you give me 200 steals and 100 blocks. One.
Hey, Brandon, I got a question, Brandon.
Just give me one season.
And LeBron did 2,500, 508 times, not 7.
Brandon, I got a question, Brandon.
2,500 and 500. What are you talking about? 500 and 500.
500
what John was talking about.
Assists.
LeBron did that 8 times, not 7. All right, Trey, what you saying?
Okay, you said Jordan getting 100 steals and 200 steals and 100 blocks means nothing. If LeBron
I said it didn't mean anything in 1987.
It didn't. It didn't do nothing for Jordan.
Yeah, he didn't get an all-defensive team, all-defensive player of the year.
So obviously it don't matter.
My question to you is, if they happened with LeBron, would you be saying the same thing?
Probably not.
Because exactly. We don't bring that kind of nonsense up. That's the type of nonsense y'all bring up.
Brandon, I didn't say I asked you, Johnny. I said Brandon.
You just brought up a career. You just said 38, 10, and 10.
That's a career. We're talking about careers. You're talking about seasonal stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to break things down to seasons.
I don't never bring up LeBron's seasonal stats.
We bring up his career.
LeBron do stuff that Jordan never did before either.
Do y'all understand the conversation?
But you have to play seasons to get to a career.
Okay, then. So we have to count all your seasons. We have to count all your seasons, not chop it down to the ones that you want to chop it down to, because we can chop it down.
I'm picking losing seasons. I'm picking season when he didn't make the finals. I'm picking season he lost.
Trey, what you saying again? Like, why? Like, if LeBron would have did that in a season, I would have brought it up. Probably not, because I'll only break up what LeBron did in his career.
Say it again.
Like, I only bring up what LeBron did in his career. You rarely hear me say what LeBron did in one season.
If you want to go that way, then I guess.
Yeah, I rarely bring up what LeBron did in one season. It's different.
I disagree with that, but you can say it.
Yeah, what Jordan did in his seasons is pretty amazing. Just like his 10 scoring titles, but only one of those points per game ranks in the top 10 of all time in the NBA. That's why I don't think the scoring titles holds that much value, because in the top 10 of the highest points per game, Jordan only has one.
Let's say because LeBron only has one. Just say that.
No, LeBron's not in the top 10 either. Jordan only got one. LeBron's more consistent than Michael Jordan.
I'm talking about the scoring titles.
Bro, the top 5 players in the scoring title, y'all don't even respect them enough to put them in your top 20, man. Yeah. Like, I don't understand it. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all
hold on, mine is.
Gervin's not in your top 20. KD's in your top 20?
Yes, he is. Gervin is in my top 20. He's number 11 on my list. What are you talking
about? Yeah, he got Gervin up number 11.
You made 11. Gervin is 11 on your all-time NBA list.
I have my criteria is total points per game.
No, not scoring. I'm talking about all time. Your all-time list. Where do you have George Gervin?
Oh, my all-time list.
Yes.
All-time list.
Yes.
I have not ranked Gervin, but he is in my top.
Where do you have Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson,
not in your top 20. Where do you have Kevin Durant?
Close. No. Don't answer my question.
You don't.
I know you don't know that. I have not done 11. I said I have not ranked my 11 through 20. That's what I said. So I can't really give you that. But
we have it recorded, Ralph. It's recorded. Again, when I talked about this a couple of weeks ago,
my list changes. My list changes.
Of course, it needs to change because the information provided in Goat James Kingdom does that. Let's go.
Simple thing is you guys do not respect scoring titles. Only Jordan. Y'all only respect Jordan scoring titles.
Yeah, because Will Chamberlain on your list, Ralph?
He's like 11 or 12 or somewhere around there.
All time, and he's second in them, and he has the most seasonal titles out of everybody. So seasonal titles must not mean nothing to you if you have Wilt Chamberlain 11th when he has 19 seasonal titles.
First of all, when you do that, hold on. When you do that, you don't even know the criteria of how I'm grading it. So how are you going to even say that?
We are talking about how you grade because you guys are grading scoring titles.
I didn't say that was my criteria.
Okay. Hold on, wait. Because LeBron James only has one scoring title, right? Which is just one, which is actually good for him to have. Because, like I told y'all, most small forwards don't even have any. So we're gonna talk about LeBron James having a scoring title.
Hey, Roger, where LeBron ranking your scoring rank? Where LeBron ranking your scoring rate?
I got him number 2.
Number 2.
And he has one
scoring titles is not that important. That's what I'm saying.
It's not that important.
That's all I'm saying.
It's not that important in your criteria for scoring or in your all-time list.
Listen. You don't even know my criteria.
You're proving that scoring titles not that important.
Your list Your list alone tells us it because you have LeBron as the second scorer of all time.
Tell me my criteria. Tell me my criteria.
Whatever the criteria is, scoring titles don't weigh nothing.
Tell me my criteria.
Scoring titles don't weigh nothing. That's what it is.
Tell me my criteria.
Don't matter.
Tell me my criteria.
Tell me
my criteria.
You can't tell me my criteria, can you?
I mean, we're not talking about the criteria. We're talking about scoring titles.
As scoring titles, it holds no weight in your criteria.
That's a lie because it is.
No, because you don't have LeBron. You have LeBron James second.
Okay. Ralph, who's third?
Third is Kevin Durant.
All right. Wilt Chamberlain got 7.
As far as
scoring titles is not that important.
Oh my God! I have not even set my criteria. They are judging on my list and don't know my criteria.
Scoring titles not that. You continue to prove
it. No. You don't even know my criteria to even judge my list. How you gonna judge something without even knowing the information?
I don't have no problem with your list.
No.
I don't have no problem with your list. You're talking about scoring titles.
Y'all really
I don't have no problem with your list.
You're really not listening. See, here's the thing. When I go live and everybody coming here, I tell my criteria and there's no words. But I haven't even said my criteria to y'all, and y'all judging
who I got in the list. Criteria. I agree with your ranking. I agree with your ranking. I saw it before. I'm just saying scoring titles is not that I was saying. Scoring titles is not that important. That's all we're saying.
Look, no. Listen. When I look at I'm gonna tell you why I have LeBron 2. Because of his total stats and everything are so high that put him up on the list. Granted, he has only one scoring title in the regular season, and he led the playoffs in scoring 3 times. I count that as well.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Ralph. Hold on. So let me ask you this.
Okay, Ralph. Total.
Okay, Ralph.
Can I finish without you cutting me off?
No, because
let me
Ralph,
finish.
How does he have enough totals to pass 7 titles, but not Jordan's 10? That's what I'm saying. So why is it better than 7?
Listening. See, you're not listening. Bro. You can't. Man, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to say nothing. Because,
all right, then don't say nothing, Ralph.
You cut me off.
Because you got no, I have to cut you off.
You cut me off.
No, because you're lying, Ralph. You're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
Yes,
you're not even listening. You're not listening.
Ralph, you're saying that.
You're saying, you cut me off.
Oh, no. You're listening what you're saying. I have to cut you off because you're lying.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm not lying.
I'm going to continue to cut you off because you're lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
You're lying.
No.
You're
I am not lying.
Yes, you
I am
are.
not lying.
Yes, you
no,
are.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Right, come on, Johnny. Let's let him explain his criteria so
you,
we
man.
know.
God,
Because
man.
he wants to
You
explain
man.
it. Just let him explain it. Just let him explain it.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead and keep proving our case, Ralph.
Proving your case.
Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought because I got cut off. I don't even remember.
It's not too busy arguing.
Right? Nah, man.
If LeBron James's totals is enough to trump Wilt Chamberlain's 7 scoring titles, why isn't it enough to trump Jordan's 10?
Because 10 is double digits, man.
No. Like I said.
You see what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He did not listen. I count also leading the playoffs in scoring as well. Jordan has combined of 20. 20. Wilt Chamberlain only had the combined of 8. His playoff points is not as high as his regular season. LeBron's is.
Okay.
That's how he trumps him.
Okay, so now I'm going to bring this up because I'm glad that you said that, because you said you're proving our point right. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 33 points, 37 points, 35 points, and didn't win a scoring title in the playoffs. That is our point why the scoring titles does not matter, because Jordan is only beating the players in his era. It is not making Jordan better than anybody when Wilt Chamberlain could score 35 points per game and still not win a scoring title. And Jordan could score 29 and win a scoring title. That's what you guys don't seem to understand why, and you don't value it that much, because you got 2 players ahead of Wilt Chamberlain who has more than LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Won a scoring title.
He
clearly
didn't listen to what I just said. He clearly didn't listen.
You were saying that his total career, putting into everything, makes LeBron James second and Jordan number 1. That we understand that. We're specifically talking about the 10 scoring titles do not hold as much weight. That's all we're saying.
Okay. But my thing is, if you look at Jordan,
that way, because none of those players you mentioned.
Hold on. Here's the thing about Jordan. He's first in points per game in playoffs and in the regular season, and he's second in totals in the playoffs, and he's
We're not arguing that though.
That's why I'm saying that, along with the 10 scoring titles in the regular season and leading the playoffs 10 times in
we're not arguing that Jordan is number 1 in your list.
I graded it.
We're not arguing that Jordan should be number 1 in your list. Where the whole conversation about the 10 scoring titles do not hold much weight. Jordan points per game holds more weight than Jordan's 10 scoring titles. Michael Jordan is number 1 in points per game, and one of his 10 scoring titles breaks in the top 10 points per game all time. That's what we're saying.
Jordan won a scoring title in the playoffs. Listen, Jordan won a scoring title in the playoffs, averaging 31 points per game, averaging 30 points per game, averaged another one at 31 points per game.
Because they played more games.
Kevin Durant averaged 28 points per game and was the leading scorer in the playoffs, which again is a small sample size. Like I always tell you guys, I don't understand how a small sample size trump a larger sample size of a regular season. He won one winning 29 points per game. He won another one averaging 28 points per game. So again, the idea that Wilt Chamberlain averaged 30 points per game 4 times and did not win a scoring title in the playoffs, you're knocking him for that. You're saying you're using all of these things, and Kevin Durant only has 9 playoffs where he averaged
what was the average number of games?
9 playoffs in regular season.
Let's go to LeBron James. Because I'm not looking at.
He could play 5 or 6 games.
I'm looking at who led the playoffs. Granted, it could be a small sample size. They led in the playoffs, but these are the elite players that won their championships and everything as a scorer, and on top of that, when they led the playoffs in scoring, I count that.
Okay.
Hey, Ralph, I have a question. Are you saying that a scoring title in the regular season counts as much as a scoring title in the playoffs?
I don't weigh anything like that. It's
is one way more than the other? Are they weighed exactly the same? That's what I'm asking.
All of it is on the same scale. They weighted the same. It's just that, like, if you have
okay, I have a question. So Michael Jordan in 1986, when he averaged over 40 points per game, is that way more than the player in the playoffs who scored the most points?
Hold on, say that one more time.
Michael Jordan, when he played those 3 games in 1986 in the playoffs, when he averaged more than anybody, is that weighed the same as someone who scored more points in the playoffs? Say, for instance, Larry Bird. I'm pretty sure he led the playoffs in scoring because he won the title. So which one is more impressive?
I don't know for Larry Bird.
No, just think about it. Like which one is more impressive? Someone who won the title and scored more points, or the one who played 3 games?
You can say that for Wilt. Wilt didn't play 6 games.
I'm not trying to say who's better. I just want to know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You could determine to yourselves. I don't determine that.
Okay, so everything is
you have to. You need a team to make it into the game, right?
It's weighed the same, basically.
It varies. Like it depends. Like, all right, say. All right, let's do this.
41 points for 3 games, and someone averaging 33 points for 16 games just mean the person that had 33 points had a better team to make it that far.
It's like when you're doing with the games, that means
the team to the finals.
You guys have a whole Einstein calculus formula to bring up your narratives. This is the most funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because you know what? LeBron James only has 4 scoring titles, including his playoffs, and he's ahead of Kevin Durant and Wilt Chamberlain on Ralph's list, even though they have double the amount. And all of that is because of totals. So that means the LeBron James's totals, for some reason, is highly valued over anyone else's totals.
No, it's such a big gap. I know what you're asking. It's such a big gap with the totals and everything. That's how he's able to move up into that. That's why.
But that's what I'm saying. You're adding a value to totals only for LeBron. Which is weird. It all depends.
None
of those other guys' totals matter. That's what I'm saying, because Wilt Chamberlain's not high scoring in the playoffs. Kevin Durant's not high scoring in the playoffs. Michael Jordan's a high scorer in the playoffs because he's second in the playoffs. So I get that, right? He has the second most points. So we're talking about totals, right? But as far as points totals, they're nowhere near total. So how is LeBron James 38,000 points, which is only a couple more points more than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, change anything? Let me go see how many times Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led the league in playoffs. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, these things don't hold no value to you guys. They really don't hold value. That's what I'm trying to say. It only holds value because Michael Jordan has.
He didn't have that many appearances in his prime.
Let me give you an example.
Well, for one, Ralph, I don't believe that. Averaging most points in 3 games outweighs total in a playoff.
Okay, perfect example.
Let me.
But you can admit that averaging 41 points in 3 games and someone averaging 33 points for 16 mean they had the better team to make it that far. Because 33 points can't win a game by yourself, right? Just like I said with Jordan.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 9 scoring titles, including his playoffs. He has 38,000 points. He's behind Wilt Chamberlain. He's behind Kevin Durant on this guy's list. Again, you're not using scoring titles, my man. I'm
using everything. Let me explain. All right. Although Wilt has more scoring titles in the playoff than LeBron, but LeBron's number 1. You know where Wilt as far as the total, you look at where LeBron is at, number 1. You know where Wilt Chamberlain's at? He's not even in the top 50. He is so low.
Top 50 in what?
In total points in the playoffs.
For the playoffs,
and in points per game.
Okay, 22 points per
game. So that's why I'm saying it's like when you look at the scale like that, that is going to trump, like all of that right there is going to trump what he, like the gap. Like if you see the gap in the scoring titles, it's pretty wide. But when you go to the next thing, LeBron's gap is much wider than Wilt Chamberlain's. So when you combine that together, that puts LeBron above him. That's why.
I know the confusion for me is how you guys weight. Like Brandon's trying to figure out whether you weight how you weight the playoffs.
No, but
everything switches depending on the player. For some reason now the points per game don't matter that much, or now it matters more because now that Wilt Chamberlain is an average. That depends on your narrative. It doesn't really depend on the stats. It doesn't depend on what we're looking at.
Would you agree that the gap is wider in the total stats in the points per game in the playoffs is wider than the scoring titles in the playoffs?
I would agree with that, but then I would tell you Allen Iverson is another. Allen Iverson is another player that's top 5. He's top 5, right? In totals. Points per game for the playoffs. His totals is what? 25,000.
No, it's low. That's what I'm saying.
AI should be low. He didn't make too many. He
got 24,000 points for his career.
Yeah, he didn't advance that much.
I'm saying 24,000 is a good decent to have. And what is he supposed to have? Kevin Durant only has 26, and you got Kevin Durant third. Kevin Durant has. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what.
Hold on. His points per game.
This is the argument I'm having with Fluent, right? Because Fluent did this nonsense, right? Because Fluent did this because he talked about efficiency.
I wish I had my pad. I could tell you.
Listen, he talked about efficiency, right? And then when I told him Karl Malone was more efficient than Kobe Bryant, he changed. He said, "Well, I weighted differently because Karl Malone's efficiency went down in the playoffs, even though it's better than Kobe's because his went down and Kobe's kind of stayed the same. I weight Kobe's to be better. So you're not going by efficiency. You're going by what you wanted to go by." That's why me and Brandon, like Brandon and I say, we stick to our criteria. We stand 10 toes down. We don't switch it up because it fits our narrative. We don't do that.
I'm gonna tell you.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. If Ralph, I know you're a smart brother. I'm not disrespecting your intellect. What I'm trying to tell you is that you guys are so used to being entitled to your opinions that you guys really think your opinions become actual facts, and it's not. You have the right to say who your best scorer is, but your criteria is pure hypocrisy. You are contradicting yourself with your criteria and your list. Listen, you can say your criteria is this, but your list does not match what your criteria is. That's my point.
Yes, it is. But here's the thing. Well, as far as with Fluent, that's something you got to talk to him about. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
No, because those are the people that, like you said, when you have your conversations in your live, no one challenges you.
Fluent don't even come.
No, I'm just saying,
came once out of the whole time. So,
people you and Fluent, y'all have the same tendency. All y'all think your opinions are actually entitled to it be involved in the conversation.
Okay. Don't wrap me into that because that's
why they don't challenge you, because they think that they can have that same opinion to just state stuff without using the numbers and think that because you're using numbers that you're actually doing something, but you're not doing nothing. You're stating what you want to state as not true. You think Michael Jordan's the best scorer because you think he's the best scorer, not because he has 10 scoring titles, not because it's a playoff average, not because of none of that. You just think he's the best scorer because that's what you want to have. That's it.
That is 100% false. I just told you why.
Okay. You're right. I'm just saying it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. Your math ain't mathing.
Criteria.
It ain't mathing. Your math ain't mathing. It ain't mathing.
Yes, it is.
His criteria. That's his criteria.
It is adding up.
So is
Brandon, I have a question for you.
Equal?
Go ahead, Ralph.
I have a question. Does it make sense to you how the way I'm doing it? Just honest.
I don't have a problem with it. Like, you weigh what titles, points per game, and totals the same, and you came out with a value. There's nothing wrong with that.
It depends on the gap in between all of those, and that's how I determine that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was just saying that any criteria has holes in. Just like I said, like in 1986, you cannot rate Michael Jordan's points per game compared to Larry Bird's totals, because Larry Bird's totals is about 5 times, not 5 times, but at least 3 to 4 times more than Jordan's. So I think that's more impressive, having more than 600 points in the playoffs than having 120 points. That's just me.
I see what you're saying.
That's just me.
No, I understand. I understand where it could be some holes.
That is due because of the team. You need the team to win to make it further to play more, right?
I mean,
that's a fact.
That has nothing. I mean, that's
true.
You can't say that has nothing to do with it, because if your team lose, you can't play another game. If your team wins, you got another game to play.
That makes Larry Bird even more impressive.
That's exactly.
So and as far as overall career in that season, yes.
That season makes Larry Bird more impressive.
Yeah, it makes it more impressive with Larry Bird within that season. I agree with that.
But then Jordan did that 6 times, so you can't be impressed for 6 times. That's not impressive.
I'm not talking about his number one rank. I'm talking about overall. In 1986, if that season could be weighted the same, that's kind of hard for
And
me
he
to
did miss
digest.
64 games too in the season, so you couldn't.
No, we're talking about just the playoffs, though.
Oh,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. At the same token, like Craig was saying, the team, as far as the more games, the team also helped him to where Jordan. It didn't help Jordan to where he was scoring a whole lot more, so he's gonna play less games. So
I'm just
I
saying
see it in that.
Totals should be higher than averages. That's all I'm saying, because you could play less games and have less points, but a higher average.
My thing is this: if you're gonna do it that way, the way Ralph is doing it, then there should be a chart where, like I did, where everything checks off. So then he should put all the players that he wants to put there, and then go by that and see the difference and see who has the best average and who has all of that and who checks off the most. Then that would be the more accurate and more better assessment of his criteria. But I think he's just going off the top of his head and he's fitting it in just looking at it. That's how I feel. I'm not saying your criteria is wrong. I'm just saying that your results to your criteria don't match. That's all I'm saying.
So what I did was I looked at the player where they were ranked on NBA.com, what place they were in points per game, the totals in this regular season, in the playoffs. I did the same thing, and I looked at when they were leading the regular season scoring in the playoffs. That's how I did it.
But that's what I'm saying to you. But if you tallied up everybody's information and put them all there so that you could compare them to your face, you can actually see it and show. Okay, so you're saying that Michael Jordan checked off more than anybody?
No. It's not checked out. It's like, all right, Jordan.
Hold on, because that's what I'm trying to say. So that means
it's a point system.
No, it's not a point system. That means no. So the point system means that there is an unequal value to a certain thing. So that means you're valuing points per game more or scoring titles more, because if they're all even, you have to. That's it. It's just a check. So whoever has the most points per game is the check. Whoever has the best totals is the check. Whoever has the most scoring titles is the check.
It's deeper than that, because you have to look at how wide is the gap between those things as well too.
Okay, Ralph. Next show, bring your full criteria up. Send us graphs so we can look at it, because right now, I guess for both of us, it's not matching up.
It's hard for me to make these graphs.
Just send us the information, because it's not
we can make
matching up. It's not matching up to me.
That's what I was having a conversation with you live when I was trying to tell Lo. It's really simple. You guys, like I said, are using calculus formulas to calculate all of these things that you guys want to talk about. It is simple. It's just as simple as understand. Yes, it is. You guys are making it tougher than what it is, Ralph. It's not that deep, Ralph. Yes, it's a basketball going through a hoop and giving you 2 points. That's it.
But the calculations within what they're doing is much deeper than that. It's more calculated. Yes, it is.
No, it's more calculated because you're trying to find a way for it to fit your narrative.
No, I'm not. I'm just going based upon the calculations that they have.
So why don't you do stuff? Perfect example. This guy asked, so why don't you add stuff like missed shots? Why is missed shots not included in shooting? Why would you use field goal percentage?
Because y'all don't get to talk about the negatives.
Why we use that's not fair.
No,
he's a better shooter. He's the most efficient.
I'm gonna be honest. When I made this list, I did it in 45 minutes, which clearly there's more stuff that I have to add to it, to where you, like you say, field goal percentage and everything, efficiency. I have to add that stuff, so I do have to.
You know what?
More, but as of right now, that's my list, and that's my criteria. As of right now, that's how I did it. Is it going to change? I feel like lists change all the time. Lists change all the time.
No, I think I know where I'm the problem. I think I know where I'm the problem at, Ralph. I think I know I'm the problem at where I get into these conversations with you guys where it comes from. Because I think what it is that, and I told Brandon this before, I think because I really don't. Like when you told me you spent 45 minutes to come up with this, Ralph, like you don't need 45 minutes to come up with a criteria for scoring. Like, I mean, like, why are you doing such and that's why that's what my problem is, because I feel like you guys are doing so much for no reason at all.
You guys, y'all the ones that have the whole graph. The only player to have 20 something.
My graph is the list of the
graph
total NBA players.
Don't leave it out, Craig.
Listen, my graph is the list of the top scorers in NBA history. It's a simple graph. I go to the NBA.com. I see who's top 10 in scoring as far as points.
We lost him.
Yeah,
we lost you.
Yeah, that's when you
cut
know
out.
it's internet telling him you lying.
Oh, you lost me?
Yeah, your internet telling you you're lying.
It's like toward the end.
Listen, I go to the top 10 list of the greatest scorers of all time as far as the most points scored in NBA history for their career. And that is my top 10 scoring list. It's very simple. It's very easy. It's very easy to explain. What's your criteria? The person who scores the most points. It's very simple.
That's really what I just did.
You went to a whole. That took me less than 30 seconds with a lag. And you took 45 minutes.
So scoring doesn't mean anything because Carmelo is not in the top 10.
The reason I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't see Carmelo in the top 10.
It's like 20. When I made that list, I had 20 players.
You know he lying.
I had 20 players. I had to look up where they were on the list, what place they were in, all of them, in four categories, and then I had to look up how many scoring they led the league in scoring in the playoffs and in the regular season. I had to do that for 20 players, and I was at work, honestly, so I was in and out a lot. So that took me a total of 45 minutes.
It's a long time, brother.
I can understand.
I told you I'm at work.
Come up with all 20. To come up with all 20, like that's not.
No. I thought he said he took 45 minutes to come up with a criteria.
Not the criteria.
No, that's what I'm saying. 45. I thought you said you took 45 minutes to come up with your criteria.
No,
that's what I'm trying to say. Because like I said,
it was my list.
Because
that's talking about the list.
I started this thing with Brandon because the first thing I told Brandon was that it's hard to argue people's opinions, man. It really is. It's like arguing people's religion. People are going to believe whatever they want to believe. I don't want to talk about what I believe because it's not. I can't prove it. So I want to talk about stuff that I can prove. And the only thing I can prove is what's on the stat sheets and what I see when I watch basketball. And that's why I stick to the things that I stick to. And Brandon does the same thing. This is why Brandon and I work well, because Brandon sticks to the stats. Brandon has his own personal preference of what he likes. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't argue that because that's his personal preference. No one can tell him he's wrong there. And then this is what gets me upset. When I tell you guys my personal preference, when I do decide to just get opinionated with you guys, I get called a liar. I get called all of these things. And then when you guys are asked to come on here and be objective with us, like we're asking you to help us understand why scoring titles matter, you give us all these excuses to why scoring titles really don't matter.
Well, if scoring having
LeBron James 2 on your all-time scoring list, that's crazy.
Well, the reason why, like I said, his points per game and his totals were so high. That's what got him at that number 2 spot.
Man,
it's not like Carmelo. Carmelo didn't lead the league in scoring in the playoffs or the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But
Carmelo is not in his top 10.
As far as all time?
His totals and points per game, I think his playoffs wasn't that high, but I know his regular season was maybe top 15, I believe. But his totals were up there to where it put him, I believe I got him at 15 or so. I can't remember. What he lacked at is the scoring titles. I added that. And LeBron, although he has 4. Mm-hmm. So that's not like he has 0. He has 4 to where you look at that. That's why he's at 2.
Okay.
I can't ignore. Like I always say, his longevity to where those totals came in, they play a factor into my scoring.
Yeah, Ralph, for me, just like I was saying, points in the playoffs outweigh averages by far. Just like I said, Michael Jordan could play 3 games and average 40 points a game, but he would not be in the top 10 in total points in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's number 2.
I'm saying he could lead a playoff in points per game, but he wouldn't be in the top 10 in total points. Just like saying points per game in the playoffs outweigh total. Like that's to me, that's not true. Michael Jordan has led the league in points 8 times in the playoffs. Those outweigh. Michael Jordan has led the NBA in playoffs in points 8 times. That completely outweighs what he did in 1986 with his points per game.
You said totals he led it 8 times?
Yes, in totals he led it 8 times.
And
that completely outweighs what he did in 86.
Well, the reason why is because he didn't play enough games to do that.
Okay, he wasn't good enough to lead the playoffs in points.
His team that's the team. The team
the 8 times he led the playoff in points is more impressive than getting swept in the playoffs.
The team. We're talking about scoring. You got to separate that. We're talking about scoring as a player. No, listen. You're talking about totals, and if they don't play enough games, of course his totals not going to be up there. That's because his team wasn't as good, so he wasn't able to get those total points. But
you mean to tell me that his points per game outweighs his totals?
Let me finish. His points per game is showing how good of a scorer he is.
Okay, Ralph. Every time he led the NBA in points in the playoffs, he led them in averages as well. So what you're saying really doesn't hold much weight. So are you saying what Michael Jordan did in 86 is more valuable than what Michael Jordan did in 1993? It's not a hard question.
No.
It's not a hard question.
Rewind and say this again. I want to make sure I answer
in 1986 and his points per game outweighs what Michael Jordan did in 1993 in his total points. Which one is more impressive?
We did average.
You don't have to look it up. You do not have to look
I
it
do
up.
have to look it up. To give you a
Why would you need to look that up?
Because
you know
I need to see. No. I'm not going.
You don't need to see that.
He had more total points in 93 and averaged less in 93.
But I need to see.
Points in the finals.
What is more impressive to you, Craig? Craig, which one is more impressive to you in scoring wise?
What year you talking about?
Okay,
80
Craig.
what?
Okay, Ralph these time. Craig, what is more impressive? What Michael Jordan did scoring in 1986 or what Michael Jordan did in scoring in 1993 in the playoffs? Which one is more impressive?
Well, and both those years he did.
You have to have one. You can have one. You can have one. Which
you
one
said 93? You said 93?
You can pick any of his title runs, but which one is more impressive, Craig?
You said 93.
Title run.
93. Okay, Ralph. Which one is more impressive? Which one is more impressive?
I'm gonna tell you.
When he did an 86 scoring wise, and what Michael Jordan did scoring wise in 1993 in the playoffs. Which one's more impressive?
I'm gonna tell you what's impressive, but let me explain why I say
pick one. Nope, pick one.
No.
There's
an explanation. I'm gonna tell you why I picked.
There's no explanation. You told us our criteria.
There is an explanation. There's an explanation. I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna give you an explanation of why. I choose the 93 for the fact that he led the playoffs in scoring as well, and
we know that he did that as well. We know he did that.
All right,
as well.
and he led the playoffs in total points. That's the reason.
But that's not the question.
Yeah.
He's asking you what's more impressive.
I just answered it.
No,
I just answered. I said 93. Yes, I did. I said 93. I did answer the question.
No, you didn't. So that means totals.
Oh my God, I did.
His totals
I say 93 because he averaged 41 and 6 games.
This is the problem. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
93 totals.
No. Here's the thing.
The averages.
No. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm answering the question. The reason why is because he led the playoffs in totals and scoring.
But he averaged less points per game.
Which one was the better season? He's asking you which one was
the
more impressive stat.
I'm telling you.
Which is the more impressive stat? The total of 90. No, listen. Don't add the points per game of 93. You can't use the points per game for 93 because it's less than the one from 86. What is more impressive? That he averaged 43 in 3 games in 86, or that he scored 666 points in 19 games in 1993? Which one is more impressive, the 666 points or averaging 43 points for 3 games?
Oh, then if that's the case, then I would say averaging 43 for 3 games. No one scored 63 in a playoff game.
So 80, Craig, I don't know if you
ain't nobody
joking
scored
or
63 in a playoff. That's a personal record. That's not a team. That's personal. No one can say they scored 63 in the playoffs.
And mind you, while Ralph is looking up this information, Yesterday, I was kicked off of Ralph's Live because we was arguing with Wilt Chamberlain, and these guys had the nerve to knock Wilt Chamberlain for only averaging 45 points per game.
Tell them why you got kicked off too.
No, I know I got kicked off for saying something I wasn't supposed to say. But I'm just saying it was because of the conversation. Like I said, these guys don't stand 10 toes down here. We're trying to figure out what holds value, whether it's totals or averages, and we can't get a straight answer from the Jordan fans. So this is what we do. Hold on, wait. So this is what I'm saying. So this is what Wilt Chamberlain was averaging 45 points per game in that one playoffs, and I was told that he only won 3 games. He didn't even get that far. It really didn't matter. I was told why. Matter of fact, I was even told why he didn't even make the playoffs one year. He averaged 45 points per game. So he went a whole season averaging 45, and he was supposed to make the playoffs in these people's eyes.
His team wasn't good enough.
But for some reason, Michael Jordan averaging 43 points per game in 3 games in a sweep. Somehow it's still impressive.
Because he got a record out of that.
And because he scored 63 in one game.
That's personal. That's not a team. You just said don't say nothing about team. You need a team to play 19 games. You don't need a team to score 63.
I'm just trying to figure out how 43
We can't use titles. We can't use games played.
43 points per game. It came up to 131 points, and Jordan scored 666 points and on 35 points per game. I still would think that the 35 points per game is better because
don't use the average. You said the totals.
Because again,
totals better.
You just said totals.
You can't tell us what to use because when we use what we want to, you guys tell us we can't. I'm using what you guys are using. I'm using your points per game.
Why ask the question that way? Why not use the averages and the totals? Why just say the averages for one and totals for the other? If you're gonna use your argument, use averages.
You can't
ask the question one way and then you give your response the other.
No,
because he didn't say averages in the playoffs in '93. He said the totals.
No, he's trying to figure out which one is more important, what you average or what you total. That's what Brandon's trying to figure out.
But you saying the 93 because of totals and average. We didn't get that opportunity.
We said 93 because of the totals. Brandon knows that in 1993, Jordan.
Yeah, you just said he averaged 35 points per game.
I know that, and I'm telling you that's why points per game don't matter. Because I'm gonna explain to you why points per game don't matter, and also scoring titles don't matter. My top 5 scoring players of all time, the top 4 guys.
I got a question.
Less than half of the scoring titles Michael Jordan has. Jordan has 10 scoring titles. Those guys have 5 altogether.
Okay? I got a question.
Between 4 of them. The guys who are also ahead of them, 3 of them average 25 points or less. They're not even top 10 in scoring as far as points per game. But you know what they are? They're all top 5 in the most points scored.
So why is Carmelo not in the top 10? Tell me why. He should be. Everybody who's in top 5 in scoring should be in top 10.
No, he's 2 scoring. He's 2 in scoring.
No, then that means scoring don't matter because he's not in your all time because you're top 10. He's not in your top 10, and he's number 3.
Because all time has to do more than just scoring.
He's number 3 in all time,
and has nothing to do with more than scoring all time.
Hold on.
I have a question.
Huh?
Scoring is not that important.
Scoring is not the only thing that matters. Basically, scoring is not the only thing that matters.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
In the playoffs, Kevin Durant, would you say his playoffs production, as far as scoring, 2000 is the 2010 season better or the 2013?
2013, he averaged 30 points per game, and in 2010, he averaged 25. So
the NBA don't even care about totals.
It's going to be 20. It's going to be
title by scoring.
Hold on, Craig.
It's going to be 2013 because he scored more points in 2013.
No, total points in 2010. He got more total points.
No, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Ralph, in 2013, Kevin Durant scored 339 points in the playoffs. In 2010, he scored 150.
I think he's talking about 2012 when he went to the finals. Are you talking about 2012 when he went to the finals?
In 2010, the 2009-2010, he scored a total of 2,472 points.
Are you talking about regular season? You're talking about the regular season.
Oh, snap. Okay. I'm sorry. I did look. My bad. Yeah, that's the regular season. My bad.
Okay,
I looked at the wrong thing.
In 2008, 2009, or the 2009 season, he had 1871. But in 2012, he had 1850, but that was the shortened season. So I don't know if you're
talking about how many points Jordan had in game 6.
Retract my question. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, because in 2010 he only averaged 25 points per game, and he had 150 points because he only played 6 games.
Retract my statement.
Again, our criteria is still the same. Brandon and I both agree the same. If we're going to be objective and we're going to be real with each other, the guy who scores the most points is the guy who's the better scorer. That's how Brandon and I feel.
I mean, like LeBron has the most regular season points, career points, playoff points. It's kind of hard to say he's not the greatest scorer of all time.
The thing is,
kind of hard.
Like you're looking at one-sided. That's my thing, is because that's not the whole shebang of scoring. There's more to that.
What's more to it? What else?
There is points per game as well. You're leaving that out. Yeah,
LeBron's high up there too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, all right, and I had this discussion before. LeBron's totals, he's number one in playoffs and in regular season
and career.
Jordan.
Oh.
Go ahead.
In playoffs and in regular season, he's number one. So that's a wash when you do that, because they're both number one in both. So
that's
because both of them are number one. Because both of them are number one.
Why totals are more than, you just told us why totals more than points per game. So it can't be a wash.
See, that's why I'm saying you're only looking at one side. It's just totals. You're saying that value more, which is not necessarily the case.
It is. Because if I told you Rick Barry's the best scorer in the finals history, you guys are going to mention the fact he didn't play that many games.
No, I didn't say that.
But I'm just saying, but that's what people would say, because Jordan is not the best scorer in the finals.
But I didn't say that.
But I'm just saying, okay, so that's what I'm saying. So if that's the case, right? If someone like Luka ends up passing Jordan points per game in the playoffs because he played less games than Jordan and he has a better playoff average.
They was saying that at one point he was.
No, but he didn't have enough games.
He was number one.
All right.
Luka was number one, and no one considered him a better scorer than Jordan. That's
Nick
what
right there.
When you ask
me in the playoffs, and you don't have him that high.
When you ask me, I'm going to look at both. That's the difference. I'm going to look at both. When you say, "Oh, Rick Barry's a better scorer than Jordan in points per game," I'm gonna say, "Well, let's look at both of them. Let's look at points per game and totals, and that's what's going to make me the deciding factor of who.
Okay, so if you do that,
which one is a bigger gap than the other? That's how I'm gonna determine it.
Okay, so next question. So Michael Jordan's 3-point gap is equal to the 6,000 point gap in the totals.
No. If one gap is wider than the other,
so
I'm gonna put that together.
Which one's wider? The 3 points per game more that Jordan have, or the 6,000 more points that LeBron had? Which one's a wider gap?
It's kind of hard. It's hard to average 30. Only 2 people did it.
Yeah, LeBron's gap between him and Michael Jordan in totals is 6,000 points plus.
I mean, a lot of people passed Jordan in scoring.
The gap between him and Jordan in points per game is 3 points. It's actually less than 3 points, about 3 points. So is the 3 points per game valued more of a higher in a gap sense than the 6,000 points that LeBron has? Which one's the higher gap? Which gap is larger?
I mean, there's 3 other people that's ahead in Jordan scoring. So, I mean, it's much easier to pass him in scoring, but it's much harder to average more points than him.
And there's 3 people ahead of LeBron too. That's between him and Jordan in points per game, because Jordan is 5th in all-time scoring. LeBron is 5th in points per game.
Yeah, but you got more people.
Now that's the gap I'm talking about. Is what place they're in on the list.
They're both first and 5th. LeBron is 5th
and then you go to the playoffs.
LeBron and in the playoffs, LeBron is the same thing. LeBron is 6th in the playoffs because Luka just jumped up in front of him just now. He's 6th in the playoff right now, and Jordan's first. And Jordan's first, but Jordan's 2nd in total playoffs. LeBron's 1st in total playoffs. So, but we're talking about the gap though. So now the gap don't.
That is the gap though I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you good enough to score more points, you should be good enough to average more points.
The gap is on the actual ranking, not the actual stat.
All I'm saying is, if you good enough to score more, you should be good enough to average more.
So why are we including other players in this? You said we can't include other players.
No. I agree with you. Don't bring other players into it. I agree with that.
Yeah, so why are we bringing the gap in between? Why is the gap the ranking instead of the actual stat?
The gap where you are on the list. That's what I'm talking about. Like
that's why I said people now, because now you're including the fact that Jerry West, Kevin Durant, and Allen Iverson.
I'm not including those players. I'm talking about the gap between 1st and 5th. That's the gap.
It should be the actual stats.
But it's not.
If we're talking about stats, it shouldn't be other players. That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
If
Why
we're
are you
talking about
bringing
stats,
the
it should be
players
stats.
into this? Because what you're saying is that LeBron's gap is the player gap. It's not the actual gap from the stats. Because the gap stats is that LeBron James averaged 28 points in the playoffs and Jordan averages 33 in the playoffs. So it's 5 points.
But if he's good enough to pass him all time in scoring, meaning scoring more, why he can't average more? Well, that's all I'm saying.
Because if Jordan played 1,400 games, he's not averaging 27 points per game. That's facts.
That's a hypothetical.
But when has he ever had a career average of 30?
That's not a fact. That's a hypothetical.
When has LeBron ever averaged 30 for a career? At any point in time did he average 30 points for a career?
That's a hypothetical. That's not a fact.
The more games Jordan
would have
played, his career numbers went down as far as points per game.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. There's players that go down and they go back up. D-Wade did it right after LeBron left. So
we're talking about
I'm giving an example.
I'm saying you're right.
But like I said,
you're
proving my point that you're going off a hypothetical. You cannot say Jordan would have went down. You don't know what would have happened. That's a hypothetical.
It didn't go down throughout his career.
It went down throughout his whole career. It went
down. It went down based on pace, but you don't know what he would have done.
No, we don't talk about no pace. His points per game went down.
No, you don't know what he would have done.
His last 6 out of 5 seasons, his last 5 out of 6 seasons, his points per game went down. So there's
average of 30.
You don't know if it would have went back up.
It would not. I mean,
just because they went down like that, you don't know if they would have went back up. You don't know.
There is
you're basing it on. You're basing it on if. Nah, bro. No.
I mean, his rookie year, he averaged 28, and then when he had another full season, he averaged 37. So I mean, he went up. You could never say maybe one year he had 27, and the next year he could go to 28 or 27.8.
My point is like, all right,
going down.
Because all right, so LeBron in 2019 was averaging 27. He went down 25.3. He went down 25, and then he jumped back up at 30. So, like I said, you can't go off of that. That's a hypothetical.
There's no hypothetical. It's a fact.
Yes, it is. No, it's not a fact.
Jordan
because LeBron James always averaged between 25 and 30 for his career. That's why his career. That's why his career average is 27.
No, I just proved it. I just
proved it.
No, you're not listening. Once again, I'm proving it to you because look at 2019. He averaged 27.4. Matter of fact, I can even go up. In Cleveland, he averaged 27.5. Then he dropped down to 27.4. Then he dropped to 25.3. Then he dropped to 25, and then he jumped up to 30. Like I said, he went down and then he went back up. You don't know if that would have happened with Jordan. That's why it's a hypothetical.
He's playing less games to do this. And listen, Ralph, what you're saying is, Ralph, this is what you're saying, Ralph, because this is what you're doing. Because LeBron James doesn't have. There's no trend of LeBron James downgrading in his career as far as points per game. Like Jordan.
I just said it.
No,
there's no trend. It's variable.
He went down
it's varied. It's varied. LeBron doesn't have a trend. LeBron doesn't have a trend.
No, he went.
He goes to Miami.
LeBron doesn't have a trend.
He goes to Miami and averages 26 after averaging 28, 29, and 30 the 3 years before. He averages 27 and then 26 again in Miami. He basically averages 27 or less while he's in Miami.
Well, you averaging the averages.
Oh, wait, he's averaging 25 and 25 in Cleveland. Then he goes up to average 26, 27, and 20. LeBron James averages.
You're proving my point.
No,
he went down and went back up.
That's not a trend, Ralph. That's not a trend. That's not a trend. LeBron does not have a trend.
Going down.
Jordan has a trend
of going down. Jordan left the Bulls averaging 31.5 points per game. He played another 160 games and he lost a 1.5 points.
No. Here you go. Jordan at 89, 32.5. No, well, I'm gonna start here. He went down to 87.
We're not talking about early in his career. We're talking about his trend at the end.
He just said early. He just said Miami. That was early in LeBron's career.
We're showing that LeBron does not have a trend. What do you not understand?
Yes, he did.
LeBron does not have a trend.
I just
There's
told
no trend.
You. Yes, he
that's
did.
Not a trend.
Yes, he did.
It's varied. When you're varied, that's not a trend. That's not a trend.
Yes, it is. I just told you.
LeBron has been at a steady rate.
Does LeBron James have 6 straight seasons where his point percentage went down in a row? Does LeBron have that? Is there 6 straight seasons? Okay, so that's not a trend that Jordan has.
LeBron doesn't have a trend. LeBron has a steady rate. LeBron has a steady rate of scoring. Michael Jordan has a trend.
No.
LeBron does not have a trend. It varies.
No,
LeBron has a steady
go
state of
back.
scoring. Jordan does not.
There was only one time in Jordan's career where he averaged less, and in the next season he averaged more. That was from 1992 to 1993. After that, also I'm sorry, and 89 to 90 that happened as well.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
but Michael Jordan's trend his last 6 years is what we're trying to tell you. His last 6 years, the trend was going down. So, and those were the years he wasn't playing.
But you don't know if it would have went up. You don't know. You don't know.
This is what we're gonna tell you. If Michael Jordan plays in 99, he's not averaging more than 28 points per game, which is what he was averaging in 1998.
You don't know.
There's a lockout season.
No.
We have a trend.
How you gonna say that when it didn't happen?
Michael Jordan has a trend
because it happened for 3 straight years prior to that. Because then when he joins, the league, when he joins in 2002, he averages 23 in 2002, and then the next year he averages 20.
You said he just went down 3 years straight, right? You just said that, right?
3 years straight.
I just gave you 4 years that LeBron did it. He jumped back up, and that was at the end. That's towards the end of his career.
So you're basically saying LeBron doesn't have a trend because it varies. He does not have a trend.
No, you're ignoring what Johnny is saying.
What 4 years did it go down? Name the 4 years.
From 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021.
And 2008, he went exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's only 2 years, Ralph. He went from 27 to 25.
What?
That's only 1 year going down. The next year he averaged 25 again. That's not going down. He's averaging 25.
That is going down.
But that's not 4 years, Ralph. He said 4 years, Ralph. He said 4 years. Listen,
but he went down.
No, Michael Jordan averaged 32 and 93. The next full season he averaged 30. That's going down 1 year. The next year he goes down to 29. That's another year. The next year he goes down to 28. That's another year. The next year he plays again, he goes down to 22. That's 4 years in a row, Ralph.
Hold on, he went down to 22.
That's fine.
Hold on. What are you talking about? He went down to 22. No, there's a gap. There's a gap that you're talking about 22. Don't do that. That's a whole 3 years. No. You don't know. You don't know. No. You're not gonna do that. You don't know what he would have done within those 3 years.
He did it. The 4 years prior, he did it. Why would I think he can?
You don't know. You don't know.
I do
He
know.
didn't do it. No, you don't. Did he play?
That's what we're saying.
Exactly. You don't know.
The fact is, Michael Jordan's trend was decreasing.
Like I said, if I hit the lottery, I'll be a millionaire. We don't know.
We have data.
That's a hypothetical.
That's a fact. We have data.
It's
like saying if you play
what you're talking about is you're talking about a hypothetical thing. You're talking about hypotheticals. You're talking about hypotheticals. We're talking about facts. Jordan trend decreased 5 straight years. You saying that his trend that he would have averaged more? That's a hypothetical thing that never happened. What? The fact is, he decreased for 5 straight years.
He did decrease. I agree with that.
That's a fact.
Like I said, LeBron did the same thing. See, the difference is we have the data to show.
LeBron averaged more than he did.
25 to 30. How is that not an increase?
No,
LeBron is not on a decreasing trend. He's not on a decreasing trend. Look at the data. He's not on a decreasing trend.
All I'm saying is,
here's the problem. You're saying, if LeBron played 2020, if he didn't play past 2021, what would you say then? Oh, he could have scored more than what he did? Is that what you're going to say?
27 points per game.
We would have said that he probably would have been the same.
In 2021, he was averaging 25.
No, his career average would still be 27 points per game after that season. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Oh my God! Why are we going to that? We're talking about the decrease.
So that's what I'm trying to. No, that's what we're trying to explain to you. Even with LeBron James having 2+ seasons, listen, LeBron James has 2+ seasons where he increased his scoring from 2021 and 22 and 23, 22 and 23. It went up from 25 to 29 and 30. Right? It still did not
30 and 29.
Now I know it still didn't change his points per game average. It was still 27 points per game prior to that, and it's 27.1 today. So that's what we're trying to explain to you. LeBron James does not have a trend where you can say it would have dropped his numbers. His numbers always stayed within that 27-point range. Jordan went from averaging 34 points per game, 32 points per game, to now only averaging 28. That is a trend of going down. And it would have continued to gone down because that's what it was doing. We're not saying
you don't know.
We don't know if that's what it was doing. We don't know nothing else.
It's a hypothetical saying that we don't know.
No,
the odds of Jordan averaging more is highly impossible because the
only reason why you're able to say this because LeBron played past the 2021 year. If he didn't play past the 2021 year, would you say the same thing that he was declining?
I would say, LeBron James cannot average 27 points per game. That's what we said. That's when he averaged 30, we were like, damn, he's still averaging 30.
But we have the data that he did.
All right. That's my point.
The data he did.
That is my point. You don't have the data that Jordan did.
That means it's a hypothetical. We do have the data. That's the problem.
No, you don't.
We do.
He didn't play 99. How you?
Rob,
we have the data.
I want to ask Brandon this question. You say you have the data. Where's the data in 99? Where is it?
What data? It's no data. That's a hypothetical.
Thank you.
We have the data that his last 5 seasons. You're not saying
my point. You're proving my point.
There's no data.
You don't have the data.
We have the data in 2001. We have the data in 2002.
Hold on. Let me get this.
No. Let him talk.
No.
You making up numbers.
You just said you don't have the data for 99, right?
We have the data for later. We have the last 5 seasons. We have the data.
No. You don't know what he would have done in 99.
No, we have the data.
You don't know.
We're basing it off
of
the data.
It's not my fault he quit.
You don't have the data. You don't have the no. That doesn't have nothing to do with the conversation. You don't have to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
His trend decreased. His trend was decreasing before and after.
Like I said, I don't think y'all comprehending. Like I said, if LeBron didn't play his past 2021 year, you wouldn't have the data. You wouldn't. So you can't say what he would have done. But hold on. Let me finish. Oh my gosh.
That's not true.
No. Just let me finish.
Just let him talk.
Just like what you're doing with Jordan, you're saying he decreased, right? He decreased. This would have been a trend. Oh my God.
The facts say he decreased.
No, you don't know that.
I mean, the data says it. The number says it.
You don't have the data in 99, so you can't.
Ralph,
we have just like how LeBron,
just like how LeBron, like I said, just like how you had the data for LeBron that he was able to increase from 25 to 30.
Oh my God!
You had the data to where he decreased from 25 to 30. You had that, so he did improve. You don't know if Jordan would have improved in 99. You don't know that because you don't have the data.
That's a Jordan problem.
There is no data.
Oh
of 99.
God,
listen what you're trying. Listen, the data that we're using is the actual data that exists, which is 98, 97, 96, 93. From that data, and even 2001, 2002, 2003, from that data, the trend states that Michael Jordan's averages will continue to have gone down if he would have played in 99, 2000, and 2001. When LeBron James retires in 2001, the data that existed at that point in time would have never told us LeBron James is going to average 30 points per game in any of the next 2 seasons for his career. The data would have told. The data would have told us LeBron James would have averaged anywhere between 27 to 25 points per game because that's what the last 4 or 5 years of his career was. He averaged 26, and then 27, 27, 25, and then 25. That was what he did the first. That was what he did the first 2 years in Lakers was 25 points, and he averaged 27, 27, and 26 in the last 3 years in Cleveland. So the data would show that LeBron James' average would probably be around 26 to 27 points per game. That was what that's his career average. Michael Jordan's career average was not 30 points per game during 93, 96, 97, and 98. Going into 2000, when he was joining the NBA, Michael Jordan's career average was 31.5. So the data shows that Michael Jordan, the data that exists, because he didn't average 31.5 anytime prior to that. So Michael Jordan's numbers would show that his numbers would have decreased. He would have averaged less than 30.1 points per game if he had 300 more games on his resume.
No.
And it also show you have the most points.
Yo, you can't.
And we agree that he would. He would have.
Hold on. You can't.
So the hypothetical.
Oh, so you're telling me from when his last year of averaging the 98 from 28.7, you're taking that trend right there, and then you're using the last 2 years that he played of his career, and that's how you're determining that.
No, I'm telling you that, Ralph, if he plays 300 games, and in those 300 games, he's not going to average 30 points per game, that means his average is going to go down.
How do you know that?
Because he never averaged 30 points because the trend says he would not average 30 again. It was a 4-year trend.
And it goes back to what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like, yo, your formula is flawed because what I said.
It's a trend.
No, that trend is
visual
flawed,
data.
then.
There's no such thing as a formula.
No.
It's visual data.
Now, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question again. I'm gonna go back to LeBron. Hold on, just 1 second. All right. So that year in after 2021, if he didn't play, you would say he would have been declining.
The data
with his points, that's what the trend would have stated.
Yeah,
that's exactly what the trend would have stated.
All right. No, Johnny. Hold on, Johnny.
Yeah, that's what the trend would have stated, Ralph.
That would have said
that his points were going down.
But his next year proved y'all trend wrong.
It didn't prove no trend. The trend. We're not proving anything. That's the evidence.
Again,
that's the evidence. We're not proving anything.
You're saying the evidence was wrong.
No, because this was
saying evidence was wrong.
Wrong because you're making the 25 points is not a trend. It's not a trend because think about this.
Prove the wrong. You can't admit that's wrong. No,
because LeBron James averaged 25 points in 2013. So that means when LeBron James averaged 25 points in 2019,
he's later in his career.
Just like you said, but he was doing that in his prime of his career. So it had nothing to do with him declining. It had something to do with
You just said. You just said.
You guys are not understanding what a trend is.
No,
that's the trend. LeBron James' trend the last 3 years before 2021 was declining with points per game.
There is nothing after 2021 that would tell us that LeBron James is not going to average 27 points per game after he's done playing another couple of years. That's my point. There is nothing in that.
No. That doesn't make any sense, bro.
You know why it doesn't make sense?
You're going in another direction. Doesn't make sense. What I'm asking is, if he didn't play past 2021, he didn't have that. You would have said the trend would have said he would have averaged.
The trend. That's what the trend would have stated. The trend would have stated that LeBron James
it would have stated that
was decreasing.
But that would have been what you thought would have happened, but it didn't happen.
Okay, I mean,
we
have more
evidence. It out
evidence.
his mouth, but Johnny, what are you talking about? He's saying it.
No, because I'm telling you that LeBron James.
But your evidence is wrong, though.
There's evidence throughout LeBron James' career where he has gone where he's averaged something like 28 points per game, and then for 2 seasons he averaged 26 or 25. And
we're not talking about that. We're talking about the trend. LeBron James' trend was decreasing.
Okay,
LeBron James was decreasing.
That's what we're talking about.
So listen.
The trend going up and down.
Listen, the trend of LeBron James. Listen. The trend of LeBron James averaging 27 for 2 seasons before he goes to the Lakers and going to 25 is not a trend of him decreasing, because he also did the same thing in Miami. He also did the same thing in Cleveland.
That's not a trend?
The trend is him averaging 20. No, the trend is him averaging 27.
He's talking about early in his career. We're not talking about that.
I'm telling you,
LeBron and George's career
of decreasing. The trend of him going to 25 is not a trend of
the same thing. What are you
All right, Johnny, I don't know why you guys don't understand what a damn trend is. A trend is easy. LeBron James in his last 3 seasons, his trend was decreasing. His trend was decreasing.
5 seasons of the trend.
We're talking about at the end of the season. At the end of the career. What are you talking about in the middle?
LeBron James' trend was decreasing. But we got evidence that his trend varied. So he didn't have a steady state. He didn't have a steady state of 27 points per game every year. It was decreasing some. Now we see that his trend is increasing. LeBron James' trend is increasing right now. Michael Jordan, last 5 years, his trend was decreasing. We have evidence that Michael Jordan was not scoring over 30 points per game anymore. That's what his trend stated.
Then we'll have
LeBron's
evidence that he would have been the all-time leading scorer. So what is the point of having evidence of something that didn't happen?
But we said that. We've always stated that. But we all, but y'all don't want to agree. Listen, you see how we agree to Craig?
Man, you don't have the evidence.
You see how
we
we
do have the
agree to
evidence.
Craig?
That's the evidence.
We agree to Craig.
No, you don't.
Ralph,
where's
we
the
agree
evidence
with
of
Craig that Michael Jordan would be the all-time scoring leader if he played more games. We agree.
That's not what we're talking about.
No,
that's irrelevant to the conversation.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, what we're talking about is you and other Michael Jordan fans refusing to understand that Michael Jordan would not average 30 points per game with 1,400 games on his resume. That's what you don't want to fail to realize.
No, I'm saying you don't have the evidence.
We don't know Jordan would have 40,000 points, but you accept that.
No, I'm not accepting it because we don't know on top of that either. We don't know.
No,
we don't know.
What we do know is
this. We do know I don't agree with that at all. If Craig would agree with it, that's fine. But I don't agree with it because there's no data for 3 years. There's none.
No, the data is for 4 years. There's the data for 4 years.
No, that's I'm not saying whose fault it is. I'm saying that by you using hypotheticals, he would have had this amount of many points because of a trend when clearly you see the trend of LeBron before the 2022 season, he jumped back up. So that trend is null and void.
He's done in his
you don't know. My thing is, you don't know if Jordan would have increased just like how LeBron did. You don't know that.
I do know that.
We have evidence Jordan was not increasing.
The evidence.
We have evidence Jordan was not increasing.
No evidence.
I do have evidence. You don't want to accept
it. Jordan averaged 80 in 86. Jordan averaged 22. The next year he averaged 37. That's not an increase.
There's no evidence that Jordan at the end of his career was going to score more points because the evidence stated that it was decreasing. Simple as that.
You know what LeBron trend was?
Oh my God.
LeBron's trend for his career was never decreasing.
LeBron has a variable.
Yes, it was decreasing.
LeBron's
I just proved it
is a
was.
steady state. LeBron averaged 27 points per game for Cleveland, 27 points per game for the Heat, and 27 points per game for the Lakers. LeBron has a steady state of scoring. Michael Jordan does not. Michael Jordan is decreasing.
No, don't do that. Use it like you do with Jordan year by year. You do it with LeBron as well. I just used 4 years, year by year, where he was decreasing.
Like I said, Michael Jordan had a steady decreasing rate. LeBron has never had a steady decreasing rate.
Yes, he did.
LeBron
I
has
just
never had a
told
steady
you.
decreasing rate.
I just told you.
No, he didn't.
No, he
I
did
just
not.
told
No, he
you.
did not.
Yes, I did. 2018, 27.5. 2019, 27.4.
That's 1 year.
2020. Hold on.
That's 2 years.
2020, 25.3.
That's 2 years. That's not a steady. That's not a steady.
That is going down.
25 to 23 is going up. You said 25 to 25.3. That's going up. LeBron went up.
No.
He went up even further.
Listen. All right, 2018, he played 25.7. 2019, 27.4. 2020, 25.3. 2021, 25 evenly. He's going down gradually. He's going down gradually. Now, if he would have ended his career, this is my question.
He did end his career. We have the evidence. We have evidence that he went back up.
I agree.
So it varied. LeBron did not have a steady decreasing rate like Michael Jordan. There's no way you can say LeBron had a steady decreasing rate like Michael Jordan. There's no evidence of that. If you stop LeBron's career, that's the only way you can say that. But LeBron has not stopped playing.
Ralph,
what I'm saying is,
Ralph, we have the data.
Gosh.
No, because you said this twice. You said this 100 times. I keep saying the same thing. We have evidence.
You're not listening.
Listen, we have evidence of
what's
LeBron
going on,
James.
SB, man.
Listen, we have evidence that LeBron James has gone 3 straight seasons on a decline.
Yeah,
and he got
better.
Look,
Ralph,
what I'm saying.
No, Ralph, listen what I'm telling you.
Hold on.
We have evidence. No, Ralph. We have evidence.
All right,
listen,
go ahead.
We have evidence that LeBron James had 3 straight seasons going down prior to that, them 4 seasons you're talking about, and he went back up. So we have evidence that we can say LeBron James.
You can say the same thing.
No, we don't. Jordan doesn't have
There's no
Jordan.
There's no evidence for it.
All right, let me hold on. Let me tell you. All right.
Y'all going crazy. My fault. I'm a little late.
So,
this is my first having the weekend off. I slept in.
So
today,
hold on,
boy.
Jordan. All right, here's the trend for you. Jordan averaged 37.1. Then he went down 35. Then he went down 32.5. Then he went up 33.
Okay, we're talking about his end of his career. We're not talking about in the 80s.
No. He just said the middle. Keep going, Ralph. Keep going.
Okay, go, Ralph. Go, Ralph. Okay, Ralph, go.
Keep going, Ralph. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, go.
And then where was I?
You was at when he went back up to 33 points per game.
All right, 33.6. Then he went down to 31.5. Then he went down to 30.1. Then he went up to 32.6. Mm-hmm. Then after that, that's when he retired. He came back. He averaged 26.9, and then he went.
That don't count.
Then we know that's that. Mm-hmm. All right, that's where we agree with that. He started decreasing at 30, 29, 28. We agreed with that. But what Johnny was doing, he did the same thing in the middle of his career. That Jordan went down and went back up the same way. That's my point. You can't. We're going based on.
There's not enough points to say that there's a trend.
Hold on.
You can't go up, down. That's varied. That's a variable trend.
Let's get him up to speed of what we're talking about.
No, because Ralph, hold on, wait before you go, Ralph. Michael Jordan between 1996 and 1998 had 3 straight seasons of his points going down. Prior to that, Jordan did not have 3 straight seasons of his career going down. He did not have that. He did not have 3. He had 2.
He did.
No, he had 2.
37, 35, 32.
He had 2. It went down. The 35 and 32 is 2 years going down.
But he went from 37 to 35.
I know, but I'm all right. It's the same thing.
No.
What I'm saying.
87, 88, 89. He went down 3 in a row.
Yeah, listen. I'm not counting 90, which is 93, which is when the first year that goes down is 96. So the first year that goes down for Jordan, the Jordan average is 37 and 87. So the first year it goes down, which is the first year we're counting where it goes down, where it decreases, it starts to decrease that 1 year is in 88. In 88 and 89, he goes into decrease, but in 1990, it goes up. So it's only 2 seasons.
It's not a trend.
And listen, in the late of his career, in the late of his career, he started in 93 with 32 points per game, then went to 30, that's 1 season, then 29, then 28. So that's 3 seasons. And we also mentioned Washington years because that's a part of it. Because again, he went drastically down in Washington.
Count that.
That's 5 years,
bro.
5 straight years.
Hold on, and let's get SB up. Let's get SB up to speed.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Move forward.
What he's basically saying that Michael Jordan at his end of his career would have averaged more, even though his trend was decreasing.
No.
In 99, 2000, he could have averaged more than 28.7.
No, I did not say that.
So what are you talking about there?
That's the problem. Y'all don't listen.
No, because I know what it was.
I said we don't know. We don't know because we don't know.
Technically,
that's what I said.
No, y'all not SB. This is the conversation.
Thank you.
SB, this is the conversation, SB. I told them that if Michael Jordan played 1,400 games, he is not averaging 30.1 points per game for his career.
That's not the discussion.
That is the discussion. Oh my God, that's the discussion. That is the discussion.
We were really talking about the trend.
No, that wasn't the discussion.
No, wait, okay.
You're not listening.
Ralph, again, this is why y'all love to argue without. Again, I know what I said. I told you guys we were talking about the points per game, and I specifically explained to you that LeBron James averaging 27 points per game for 1,400 games is more impressive than the 30 points per game for 1,100 because Jordan is not averaging 30 if he plays for 1,400 games. We were talking about points.
What was LeBron? What was? I know y'all know this off the top of the head, but what was LeBron average from 1,100 games? What was his average at that
27 points per game.
I'm pretty sure it's 27.
So if it was still 27, then that defeats the purpose that Jordan still got it, right?
But this is where you get into the conversation because we were basically telling them that the trend of Jordan's last 4 or 5 years of his career show that he would have kept. We would have kept.
Last 5.
Washington counts.
Washington counts. It counts.
No. Here's the thing. Go ahead.
What we're basically saying is that if Michael Jordan doesn't retire going into 1999, Jordan's not going to average more than 28 points per game. Which is
he did lead the league in scoring though, but that's
but we're not talking about leading the league in scoring. We're just talking about what his average. Because if he doesn't average 28, he's going to go down. If he goes the next season and he doesn't average 28, his career average will go down. So a perfect example, when Jordan retired in the end of his 13 seasons in 98, he averaged 31.5 points per game.
Right.
Just playing another 160 more games in Washington, dropped it a point and a half.
Real quick, be right back.
So if Jordan plays between 99 and 20,
back.
I know if Jordan plays between 99 and 2002 and doesn't average over 28 points per game, his career average would go down. It's no other way around it. He's not. There is no evidence that we have that Jordan will be able to average 30 points per game.
We just said it. He averaged. You said. You said. He averaged 30 now. We got 5 seasons of 30 point seasons.
You said
he
if.
29,
That's a key word.
In his career, he got 30.
You said if. If Jordan averaged those 3 years of what 25, you said,
and every year,
but he didn't do it.
Consecutive.
That's my point. You're going off of if, and we don't have the data to say it was actually it.
No, I'm telling you, the data that I'm using is the data of what he actually did prior to that. So that data tells me that he will continue on that trend, and that trend will lead to less than 28 points per game. And because it's less than 28 points per game, it will lower his career average less than 30 points per game.
That's if. You don't know if he would have averaged that. That's my point. No, you don't have the data because it's not there.
I'm using the data.
No, it's no data.
You saying he will average 22 points if he played in 99 and not 2001?
I'm telling you, even if he averaged 28 in 2000 and I mean in 1999, if Jordan averages 28 points per game, it doesn't even go down. His career average still goes down.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying. You're going off a hypothetical. You don't know.
We know for a fact his trend was decreasing.
No, you don't know for a fact because he didn't
his
play.
His trend was decreasing.
How you know when he didn't play?
Because we have evidence.
Hold on.
We know for a fact his trend was decreasing.
SB, they just said that Jordan would have averaged 25 in those. Oh, he couldn't hear me.
Go ahead.
He said that Jordan would. They know that Jordan would have averaged 25 within those 3 years that he didn't play.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is my point I was going to say about this, speaking on this. It's like, it's hard to debate with a hypothetical because we really don't know remember, Scotty left at this point in time. Because how do you know that Jordan might not average more points playing because now he don't have the necessary help? Not saying he's going to win, but he probably could average
Jordan
more points.
played, 40 games without Pippen that year, and his scoring average didn't increase. So it was going to continue to decrease. The evidence state that Michael Jordan's points per game was decreasing. His trend was decreasing. No. That's all we have. We have the evidence. No hypotheticals. We have
that is hypotheticals.
Evidence. There's no hypotheticals when we have evidence.
How many set of games was
that? But there is evidence that his score was decreasing and his career average is still 30. He's still the highest in the league.
No, it's not. Because before Jordan started decreasing, his career average was 32 points per game.
But still number one.
But the evidence
that's not the point.
It won't be number one if it's not 30.1. That's what you don't understand.
That's not even a point.
What y'all not understanding is this though. From the evidence that I'm looking at Jordan scoring from what is this 86, 87, and besides that 1 year 94, he led the league in scoring. So every year, so what makes me believe that he lose one of his best options? And now he had the whole season, not a handful of games, a whole season.
40 games without Pippen, right? I think it was half the season without
38
Pippen.
games. 38 games.
38.
We have a good sample
size. In an 80 game span, Michael Jordan usually leads the league in scoring for this point. It don't matter.
He's still in the league in scoring.
Yeah, but the league average is 20 about leading scoring around that time is 28, 29, 30 points. So I still think he will be around the same.
Allen Iverson led the league in 99 with 26 or something like that.
Yeah, I think Jordan would have probably took that point with probably 27, 28. So I think we could just say he would be around the same. But now
let me ask you a question. SB. If you add 66 games of Michael Jordan averaging 28 points per game, doesn't that lower his average from whatever 31.5 to whatever it would be afterwards?
I think by the math wise, it should go down.
Okay. So that's all we're saying. So now if you go to another season, he plays another 80 games. What would you give his average in 2000?
2000
with the same Bulls team, like you said, they're rough, but he's just out there doing his thing. How many points you give him then?
At 30 was 7.
Either 37, probably like 24, 25, honestly.
Okay, so that means
the defense was too good around that time. That's when the defense started picking up around 2000.
But all right, so that means his average would go down again, correct? That means his average goes down again, correct? Okay, now let's go to 2002. What did you give Jordan averaging?
You said 2002? He averaged 20.
20 points per game, right? So if Michael Jordan goes from averaging 28 and 98, then 27 and 25, and then 20, which is these are SB's numbers, not my numbers or Brandon's numbers, right?
I ain't my numbers. Michael Jordan.
I don't know hypothetical.
That's what I'm saying. Do we know that it would have happened?
But SB is saying this because of his trend. He's saying this because of his trend.
Is also, but SB's hypothetical is also all right. SB's hypothetical
hypothetically it should drop.
Yes, SB's hypothetical matches Brandon and I's hypothetical, which says that by the end of all of that, Michael Jordan would not have averaged 30.1 for his career. He probably would have 40,000.
He'll either average 30 points or have all-time leading scorer.
SB, they said, hold on, SB. The thing is, they said this was a fact that this would have been happening.
No,
that's my point. That's my point.
But you can also argue the fact that if Jordan never retired, he possibly could. And how the trajectory he was going, he could be the all-time leading scorer. I still think Brown would have caught him. But I think Jordan would have been number one.
SB, we agree with you, and that was the whole point of the conversation when we said, listen, what you guys just said, we agree. Jordan would be the all-time leading scorer, and LeBron would probably another 2,000 or 3,000 points, and we would still be calling Jordan the greatest scorer of all time because he has 40-something thousand points. But the problem is that Michael Jordan fans, not you in particular, but Ralph is the head one today, doesn't want to accept that Jordan wouldn't average 30 points per game playing 26.
It all started about scoring titles. That's what it started
from. Hypotheticals, what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that I'm not accepting. I'm saying you're going off of hypotheticals we don't know. That's what I'm saying.
No, we're going off of odds. I think he made a very calculated, objective decision.
What are odds?
By going to 27. The odds is that Jordan would have went from 28 to 27. It would have went from 27 to 25, from 25 to 24.
So the odds would say if he didn't retire, he would win 8 straight, right?
He probably would have 12, 13 scoring titles.
And he would have had 8 titles too.
And these are all hypotheticals. That's my point. It's all hypotheticals, and you're saying that it's facts.
We don't know.
That's my problem.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
This is a graph that I made before, just going off of Jordan trend. It goes exactly how SB said it would. 27, like 25, 24, like it would go on a decreasing end if he played 440 games and played 20 seasons. He would average over 40,000 points. Or he would have had over 40,000 points, and his career average would have been 28.
Ain't that bad.
But
that's going off of his trade.
But said it's a hypothetical.
But I like how you took the retired part. You wouldn't give him a prime season, but you give him a non-prime season. You're hypothetical. I like how you did that.
Yeah, that's what happened. He retired that year. That's what happened.
Because remember, we have to honor Michael Jordan and respect the fact that he really retired because of his father. So that's what we did.
So, but I mean, if you're gonna do hypothetical, you do have to add that. To be fair, you have to add.
You have to add what didn't happen. Like 1994, he didn't play basketball.
Year 19 didn't happen. Year 20 didn't happen. Year 17 didn't happen. But that can stay.
This is on his trend. This is on his trend.
But even if we add that, all right, even if we add that year, it's going to give him more total points, but it's not going to give him 30 points per game. He's still going to average less.
No, that's his prime right there. You don't know if he would have been. You got to go.
He averaged 30 before that, and he averaged 30 after that. So you got to say he averaged 30.
Who led the league in scoring that year? What was the league average in scoring in 1993-94 season?
I think
was David
Robinson was like 29.9 or something like that.
Jordan would have averaged
like Shaq, one of the two.
Jordan would have averaged 30 in 94. He would have averaged 30 in 94. I give you the 30, but that 30 is not.
I'm not giving you guys no 93 when he quit basketball. No. This is if he played 20 seasons.
Add the numbers in 3 years. You see how flawed that is?
This is at the end of his career. This is at the end of his career. This is at the end of his career.
Listen, I agree.
How's that flawed? Because
you're not going to give him that year, but you're going to give him 3 years.
Why would I give him that year? This is if Jordan did not quit in 98. This is Jordan did not quit in 98.
Okay, but listen, what even like I said,
no, that's 99. No. Hold on, wait a second. You just hold on. 2013, 2014, he retired then too. 2000. I mean, yeah, 2000.
That's not 14. Well, that's the year. That's
14,
the first year.
The 14th year, the 15th year, the 16th. Hey, those are.
I'm doing the trend. If he did retire in 98, that's what I'm basically doing. If he did quit basketball in 98, this is what Jordan would have did
basically
if he played 20
seasons.
But
you're omitting seasons though. That's
one season I omit. One season I omit.
Let me ask you this, Ralph.
No. You're stopping it. You're keeping it at a cap,
Ralph,
man.
Let me ask you this, Ralph.
Ralph,
let me ask you this. How many points per game would Michael Jordan need to average in 1994 if we added it to this thing to make it 30.1 again from 28 points per game?
50.
But he was averaging 31 here, not 30. And then in the Bulls.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking you. If Michael Jordan, what would his? Because the problem is right now is the 28 points per game. Because y'all don't even care about the 40,000 points. Y'all are mad that he averages 28,000 points under this criteria. My question to you is, no. My question to you is, if we give him the 94 season, right? Well, we're gonna. Brandon has his reasons, but we're gonna just bypass.
If you give him 94, then the 20th season wouldn't be.
I'm just saying. I'm Brandon. I get what you're saying. But I just want to know. I want to know how many points per game do you guys think Michael Jordan averages in 1994? He doesn't retire. What is his average?
He coming off a year averaging 32, probably like 31, 30,
okay.
31.
Do you think averaging 31 points per game for another 81 games would make this 30 points per game for his career?
It go up.
Yes, because you'll take the.
No, it's gonna go up. Yeah, I agree.
Hold on. That year 10, you also got to change that too because
y'all want to change. I guess we should change the year 2 as well. Y'all won't give Jordan so many advantages. Change year 2.
No,
change year 2.
Change
the 10th year. Change everything. Change everything because Jordan. How's it flawed?
Is flawed.
You can't say you can't add a retire for one and then say and then retire for this.
Okay, the only thing I could have did is put 5 more years after year 15, and he would have finished averaging like 10 points a game.
If he didn't retire, he would have played more than 17 games on that year 10, whatever you got.
Yeah,
so it wouldn't have been 26.9. It wouldn't have been 26.9. He would have had 2 seasons right there.
This is what if we give him 32 points per game for 81 games in 1994 and add it to these numbers, Michael Jordan would average.
You have to do it for 95 too, and you have to do it for 1986 because he couldn't play a whole season, so you have to keep doing it.
No, I can't.
He got hurt.
Apparently, you have to.
No, he got hurt. That's hurt. That's different. This is retired.
It's different. Okay, it's different when he quit.
Michael Jordan averaging.
But that's the hypothetical that y'all using when he retired.
Thank you.
They want to make truth about how
they want to do hypothetical.
No. We're gonna use Michael Jordan's average for 95. Whatever he averaged at 95 is what would be his average for the season.
No, that's not fair.
No,
that's not fair. That's not fair because he quit most of the season.
For those 17 games,
he played 17 games.
That's not fair. We have to add 82 for those.
But we would add whatever the 60.
That's not fair to Jordan.
At the same amount of points. But again, this would be what it is. It's not going to make it 30. He would still average less than Wilt, but he would have the most points in NBA history. But you guys would be talking points all time instead of points.
95 is not a full season at 26.9.
Yeah, that's not fair to Jordan. We need to add 82 games for 94 and 95.
I mean, if you do it,
that's not fair to Jordan.
But this is the point we said about don't do hypotheticals because you'll be anywhere making stuff. And then
we're doing at the end of his career, his trend. At the end of Jordan's career,
it wouldn't be the first time.
But
I'm just saying, it wouldn't be the first time one of y'all charts is wrong. This
is not a fact. This is not a fact. How can it be wrong?
Well, it's not a
We're
fact.
just saying at the end of his career, this is what he would average.
No,
you got to put the hypothetically next to it, though.
Now we
this
use
is exactly what you said.
It is hypothetical.
Now we use this we use this because the argument, and again, the whole argument we've been talking for an hour is trying to figure out. No, it's trying to figure out what's more valuable, totals or per game averages. This is the whole crux of the conversation. Because the reason
NBA recognizes a scoring title who averages the most points, not who scores the most points.
That's the NBA says who's more important. And the NBA recognizes all-time totals for your career, not your points per game.
Now, look, I'll give you this, Johnny. Don't get me wrong. they should have value total more. I agree with you on they should have value more, but from the evidence that we approved, honestly, we can politic about why, because it was Kareem. If it was probably Magic or Jordan had it at that point in time, they probably would praise it more. But from the evidence that we had, they did not praise total. I don't know why. I think that's stupid. I can agree with you on that. So we can't all of a sudden now, because LeBron got to act like it's just this valuable award, because nobody ever put Kareem in no great scorer conversation, which was wrong. But from the evidence that we've seen, they didn't value it. I believe I agree with you. It should be valued more.
No, but that's but that's the problem, and that's why I always tell people that there's this ESPN NBC fan base that thinks that because when ESPN and NBC started talking about basketball, for some reason nobody talked about Kareem 38,000 points and why he was the greatest. Prior to Michael Jordan's fame and stardom, that was why Kareem was considered the greatest player of all time. People had to literally remove Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's greatness to make Michael Jordan the GOAT. You couldn't make Michael Jordan the GOAT if he didn't have 38,000 points. So you had to diminish 38,000 points and say, well, he doesn't need
10 scoring titles did help him out, though.
But Jordan was the GOAT. Jordan was considered the GOAT before 10 scoring titles. He was considered the GOAT. He was considered the GOAT before 6 championships.
It was at 7.
I'm going to tell you why the real reason why Jordan was considered the GOAT, because people legit feared him. And it was just like remember what Kobe said when Kobe was coming into the league. He was like, "Young Patrick was
a teenager.
Y'all was saying LeBron
was calling Black Jesus.
Jordan was calling himself Black Jesus. That's the problem.
No. They was so scared of this dude, which I was like, this. I know how Kobe thought this guy be some of the most.
Kobe was a teenager, of course. He was gonna think Jordan was this and that.
No. He said, y'all calling who Jordan? He said his name Mike. Y'all tell him Jesus. Yeah, Lee Jesus, Black Jesus. He like, y'all, wow.
That was Reggie Miller.
Nobody was fair in Jordan. They were smacking Jordan around, throwing him on the ground, and Jordan was.
Shaq even said it out of his mouth that he feared him.
They were scared.
Shaq said he
talking about these young teenagers afraid of Jordan.
Look, this is a perfect
Nobody was afraid of Jordan. They was knocking Jordan on the ground, and Jordan was getting up and shooting free throws, not getting in nobody's face.
They was scared of
Mike, afraid of Jordan. Clyde Drexler wasn't afraid of Jordan. Charles Barkley wasn't afraid of Jordan. Gary Payton wasn't afraid of Jordan. Karl Malone wasn't afraid of Jordan.
Simple fact. I see Jordan get smacked around and not do a thing. Jordan got smacked around and didn't do nothing. Nobody feared Jordan. They knocked Jordan upside his head and he didn't do nothing.
The only team you can say that about is the bad boy Pistons, because they didn't get.
Everybody was doing that back then. Jordan wasn't fighting nobody.
No team. The reason you say Michael Jordan is all of this again is because of media hype. The hype, like I said, the ESPN NBC train, that when you watch an NBC intro in the 90s, they talked about they talked about aggression. I can show you, I got footage of it. The aggression, the killer instincts, the will to win. These things have nothing to do with basketball. That's why you guys bring up these things about
Jordan don't have a case to be the GOAT?
No, but the case isn't him being feared.
No, he got other stuff there, but I'm just saying they did, because I just seen the clip recently. LeBron teammates. If I found it, I'll send it to you. Mario Chalmers was talking about like how they used to talk about Mike. You listen how they talk. They was like they feared him before they even played him. They gave Jordan an advantage. He said when we played against LeBron, when people played against LeBron, nobody came in the game scared of him. But when the game started, it was a different story. He literally said that. He said when the game started, it was a different story.
But when Kendrick Perkins said that he prayed for LeBron James to be injured before Game 7 in 2008, that's not him fearing LeBron James?
Yeah, no, that one, that's the situation. But I feel like all of it is capped because you fear these two of the greatest players of all time. Of course, you're gonna fear them when the game starts.
It makes a question.
But it was questions. But it was questions at that point in time with LeBron, because remember, at that point in time, they had just came off losing. And they was trying to question if they were gonna break the heat up and could LeBron get it done, and LeBron just turned to a different beast.
I know. Okay, but what about?
I know you know the clip where LeBron said he was just out the trash.
When the Cleveland Cavaliers are entering Toronto, you don't think they were fearing LeBron?
Oh no, 100%, 100%.
So again, the thing about Jordan was he was feared later in his career when he was in his prime, and he was one of the face of the league. You couldn't touch him, you couldn't foul him. He got away with everything, right? He's Michael Jordan. He's the star of all stars. So the players that y'all are talking about are players that came into the league afterwards, like Reggie Miller, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. But the players that he was playing against that were drafted in his class or drafted around him, Patrick Ewing was not afraid of Michael Jordan. Like, you know what I'm saying? None of those guys were afraid of Michael. I mean, X McDaniel
was afraid of Michael Jordan.
He's not afraid of Michael. They respect Michael Jordan. They don't get
involved. Somebody Jesus. That's cool. That was
the only person I know to call Michael Jordan Black Jesus is Reggie Miller. I don't know.
And Reggie Miller said it because he told him.
And
That's OD. That's OD to me though. I'm
Reggie said.
I'm not calling
Michael
on
Jordan told Reggie he's Black Jesus.
But don't,
that's a different story.
But Johnny and B Lee, I want y'all to understand this. So look, like in the ESPN and the narratives that we have now, because everybody grew up loving Jordan. Trust me, all these dudes gonna retire, and once these dudes retire, it's gonna be the same thing for Bron. When Bron, it's gonna happen, bro. It's literally gonna happen. You already see the LeBron people in the media trickle in now. They gonna take it. LeBron gonna get the same treatment, bro. He ain't gonna be playing while he getting the treatment like Mike did, but he gonna get it once he retires.
But I gotta tell people that's fine, because like when people try to tell us about Joker and Luka being better than LeBron at this point in their career than the LeBron, we tell them, but it's 20 years later. They should be. You know what I'm saying? The game will evolve. Like again, I've never seen LeBron do the things that Luka and Joker are doing. Nobody's seen these guys do stuff like this before. This is new territory, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I seen Bron do some way.
No, that's what I'm saying. LeBron, the illustriousness of LeBron's career is different, but we're just talking about the span of earliness of LeBron's career. He's not giving you the type of triple doubles. Jokic almost had the same amount of triple doubles LeBron has now.
Yeah, Jokic
had 100. But I think it's more of a credit to the time that we're in right now, because I think if we had the young, because I told y'all before, my favorite version of LeBron is the first one of Cleveland, young Bron, because he literally everything they said LeBron wasn't doing, he played like that Jordan and Kobe style, but he was also making those passes. He was that gun type of player, hitting clutch shots and all that. You telling me you put that version of Bron today, he'd do the same thing, put up hella stats, probably average 30, 32, triple doubles and all that. I think he would do the same thing. Probably worse, honestly.
Come on, we got Russell Westbrook averaging triple doubles.
What you think, LeBron? Really? Bro, honestly, if we put young LeBron today, I think within his third year, 32, 10, and 12, you're tripping. No, 32, 10, and 12, first year. I mean, about his third year, 32, 10, and 12.
Russell Westbrook, who been on 4 teams in the last 4 seasons, the only thing that's preventing double for 2 consecutive seasons.
No. So you're saying the only thing that's preventing LeBron from doing this now is because of his age, then, right? You're just saying he's not athletic enough to do it. Okay. I mean, if that's your case, I can see your stake there, because I mean,
we only can use the age thing for LeBron, though.
Yeah. No, I didn't say that. No, because
he's still putting up 30. He barely getting down the court.
We're not, but listen, but we just used the age for Jordan. Y'all said we couldn't. When we basically told you Jordan was on a decrease because of his age and what was being shown, y'all was saying that.
Who said y'all? I agree. He was on a decrease.
I agree. I said he was going to average like 20.
All we're saying is y'all basically
that boy was.
It's not 100% definite because we didn't
what I said.
3 in the morning sipping cognac and gambling. He wasn't gonna last that long playing, bro. This person's gonna drop regardless, bro. Okay, how much?
I would say, but
smoking cigars every other day. He wasn't gonna make it, dog.
No, listen. The conversation, again, these are all great conversations, but like we always tell you guys, we like to stick to the numbers because that's all we can go by. All this other extra stuff is really just your opinion. So we try to go
numbers that y'all want to go by because
it's the numbers
that y'all be adding stuff to them numbers
because
man.
You just said
y'all be carrying the 2 too many times on them numbers, man. Y'all carry the 2. Yeah. Add a LeBron 6, sprinkle something on top of them numbers, man.
Yeah.
You literally just said the greatest scorers is based on the all time. But you don't have Karl Malone in your top 10.
Karl Malone is my 3rd all-time scorer of all time.
What about all time?
Like, talking about
we spoke about that earlier, SB, and I said you're just looking at totals, and scoring is more than just totals.
No, okay, wait a minute.
Hey, no way, shape, or form, Karl Malone a better scorer than Carmelo Anthony. I'll stand on that. No way, shape, or form, he's a better scorer than Carmelo Anthony.
And based on what?
Thank you.
Everything, scoring abilities, literally Melo can score every way Karl Malone can score and better.
But what does it matter if Karl Malone averages more points? He gets more points than you.
He done played more than Melo out the league.
No, he averages more points than Melo too.
Do we?
And Melo played 19 seasons.
Let's see.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. You guys are not basing it off of nothing but your opinion, your preference.
Yes, that's you basing off the eye test.
Because why do I care how you score if you're still scoring? You can shoot the ball with one hand. I don't care. You're scoring. You can shoot the free throw underhand like Rick Barry does, and it's still. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I care how you're scoring? Like the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored mostly off of a hook shot that no one else could actually do.
So you think Giannis is probably who lead the league in scoring now? What, Giannis or Embiid? So if Giannis is the best scorer in the league, then or
he is this year. Well, Embiid is this year.
So he a better scorer than Joel Embiid.
Embiid is leading the league in scoring. So this year, Joel Embiid is the best scorer in the league.
If you go by seasons, right, like which you guys want to go by, they usually go by per game average, right? That would be the best way to do it. You would be the best scorer for the season. But if you want to talk about who's the better scorer, I mean, right now, doesn't Giannis have more points than Embiid for his career, or no? No.
Yes, yeah, he do, because he played more games than him. I know. I know that without even looking at it, because
no, let's go. So who were we talking about again? You said Carmelo.
Who's the best scorer this year, but Embiid's probably
all
the best scorer.
All time. I'm just saying that's just me. I'm taking.
Just all time.
But if we talk about Embiid, the Giannis is definitely Giannis, because I know Giannis leading because he played more games.
Yeah, so Carmelo basically is a better 3-point shooter and a better free throw shooter than Karl Malone, but he averaged less points and he shoots at a lower efficiency than Karl Malone does.
Mm-hmm. And he got what?
He got 1,200 games in 19 seasons, but Karl Malone has 19 seasons and 1,300 games. So I think 1,400 games.
14.
But Karl Malone has
15.
Karl Malone has, I think, 10 more thousand. No, not 10,000, about 7,000. I think Carmelo has 28, and this guy has 36. So he has like 8,000 more points than him. Mm-hmm. So he scores more points than him. He's more efficient than him. Mm-hmm. But you say because his versatility in his bit, I agree with you. He's very more versatile. He can definitely score.
He can score how Karl Malone can score too, literally.
No, I know that. No, I got you.
He can play the same little post hook, whatever he was doing. Melo could do that.
But Carmelo couldn't average 25 points per game, and
Melo was losing. Melo scoring one.
No, he couldn't score 36,000. Don't use average. He couldn't score 36,000.
And Carmelo only has one scoring title, which we know Carmelo has none. So
yep.
And matter of fact, and now that I'm looking at it, Carmelo Anthony is another player that never averaged 30 points per game for his career.
Mm-hmm. He averaged 28. Ooh, that was the highest he did.
28.9 and 28.7 on the Knicks who won the scoring title. Can you be a top 5 greatest scorer if you don't average 30 points per game in your career? I mean, for a season.
Top 5? Yeah, you can say that. I'm not mad at that.
Okay. Like I told you, our math is simple. I mean, like we said, we just go off to the all-time scoring list. But obviously, most people like SB, Ralph, Storts Fluent, they have a Einstein calculus formula to do their all-time scoring players. So I just don't. I would love for y'all to help me understand it a little bit better, because even with Fluent, he got mad with me. He said that I was putting words in his mouth. But like I said, he said points per game. He said the playoffs. He said efficiency. He got mad that I added true shooting, which is a part of your efficiency. That's fair. And free throw shooting, which he was like, why did I do that? But he didn't want to add totals. He said totals is not a part of it. He was mad that I add totals. Yeah. So he doesn't want to put totals into it. Totals don't matter as far as scoring for him. That was his. And he said a bunch of other things. Like Ralph said, they have other things. It depends. He weights things differently depending on how he wants to look at it.
So what was you arguing that LeBron was a top 5 scorer of all time?
Well, I would love to see how you make LeBron James a top 5 scorer if you don't count totals. Because other than that, how is he a top 5 scorer?
Impact. He puts up the total number of points every year of his career. He added different skill sets to his game. Like, I think LeBron's a top 5 scorer.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people have but I
got like 5. But
yeah, but see, you by your criteria and what I understand, SB, you actually have LeBron similar to where it should be. But by what Ralph's criteria was, he had LeBron second. We couldn't figure out how LeBron is second in that criteria. The criteria was a little bit too much to put LeBron there. I've had people like Kevin Durant, Wilt Chamberlain, Allen Iverson. Because again, the thing is with LeBron is scoring.
I love AI, but I don't know. Oh, damn, that's my first favorite player. Is he AI better score than LeBron?
He averaged more points.
LeBron the greatest scorer of all time. That's the thing.
I know you think LeBron the greatest scorer of all time. I don't know that. I gotta go back and look at that. Do my research on that.
Well, listen, Iverson
played longer in his competition. That's all he did.
Iverson averages 26 points per game, right? And he's top 10 in per game averages. He's also top 5 in playoff averages because he averaged like 29 for the playoffs. Yeah. He has 26,000 points for his career, which is decent. If you have over 25,000 points, that's good.
Nah, you said this is the league of guards. That's why God was getting all these scoring titles. They're supposed to do all these scoring.
Just over 25. How many people you don't have over 25,000 points? What's good, Zero? Peace out to Zero. Thanks for joining us. Make sure y'all check and subscribe. Hit the button. Hit the like button.
Zero. I forgot. Yeah, I'm looking at AI numbers. I forgot AI was a dog, bro.
Now AI only has 2,000 playoff points, but he didn't play in that many playoff games. So, which I find funny because I don't like to measure playoff because, like,
I would. I think playoff because let's see, you can do all that scoring in the regular season like James Harden, that's why like James Harden is in the conversation top 10. You see them, I put him in the top 5 because I don't care how many points you score, but if you can't score those same amount of points in impact winning, I think that should drop you on the all-time scoring list. Because what's the point of that? Well, that's the reason why I got LeBron in the top 5 because I done seen him plenty of times average the same points or more in impact winning. I think that should be one of them.
Go up in the playoffs. He excels in playoffs.
But no, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Carmelo Anthony for 1,200 games in his regular season averaged 22 points per game. But in the playoffs, he played only 83 playoff games, but averages 23 points per game. So is it really 23 points per game in 83 games is truly better, or is it a better measurement to understanding his scoring than the 1,200 games at 22? Like, you have a large sample size of the regular season. It gives you a better idea of what they can do scoring wise than the postseason, which is basically less than 10% of his actual career games.
But the postseason is a better. We're gonna say you could push back on that because
it's more difficult to score.
It's more difficult to score in their game and they game plan for your play style. So let's see, can you still pull up the same impact? Like I done seen Mike videos of Mike. I done seen multiple playoff series with Bron, and they turned it up. You put the game plan on them. And then, like, don't get me wrong, people hated with Bron because sometimes he had to learn over the years because people just forget. But there's different from our generation because we see every single game, but we act like we didn't see the growing pains when Mike had to learn every year to add stuff to his game to be better. All greats go through that. Period. So people just couldn't understand the fact that when Bron lost to the Spurs in the finals with the Heat, you need to have a consistent jumper. Or people bring up the fact of like the Ray Allen jump shot. But I tell people like, yeah, Ray Allen say LeBron. I'm like, bro, Bron scored like the last 12 points. He just and the shot they got, he missed
in the fourth.
Yeah, he scored 16 straight points.
He was the last 15.
Bro, that was ridiculous. And then he misses the shot that he took because if he would have hit it, that would have just been an all-time great performance. But people just forget that all they think is a Ray Allen shot. No, he missed the last shot.
It sound like the excuse they use for John Paxson. All they see is the John Paxson shot. Don't matter mine averaging 41, 55-point game, but John Paxson saved Jordan legacy.
Yeah, that's how it be though. Some people do it just to argue. It's stupid.
Really?
I think it's just as stupid with the Ray Allen say LeBron thing.
I hear Steve Kerr, John Paxson.
I think it's all stupid. Yeah. People just forget that. Like
all you hear is Jordan 6-0, just like Scottie Pippen said. The Bulls were 6-0, not Jordan. That's all you hear is Michael Jordan 6-0. Every argument, Jordan 6-0, 2 3-peats. You don't hear anything about no teammates.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But also,
media, fans, everybody.
Did y'all hear what Dame Lillard said? And I had an analysis on. He was like, the ring culture is hurting the league or hurting the league.
I started with Jordan.
No, I actually think I don't think it's the ring culture. I think it's the GOAT debate. And the problem with the GOAT debate is everybody loves to argue Jordan versus LeBron, which is cool because they are the 2 greatest or top 3 greatest players all time, no matter whatever order you put them in. I think the problem is we putting everybody up to this LeBron James, Michael Jordan standard who don't deserve to be in that conversation. Like, I think Steph Curry just entered that realm to judge him on the standard of a GOAT debate. I think you should be in the top 10 playing range before we put you on that GOAT debate standard. So Dame Lillard should not be in no conversation when we worried about if he got a ring or anything like that. I don't think he should be that. I think that's the real problem.
That's the narrative today. That's why players sit out games because the ring argument has been so valuable in the media. That's all they talk about is Michael Jordan never lost.
Yep.
That's more valuable than Larry. I mean, that Magic winning 5 titles and 9 finals appearances in 12 years.
But Magic is judged by the GOAT standard too, though. He do, and that's what probably drops Magic.
He should be because he had a teammate that's in the GOAT debate also. So.
Yep. And that will kind of hurt.
And that should eliminate Kareem because he had Magic.
Yeah, but they do.
But that's not the argument. That's the finals. Now Magic 4 final losses is getting implemented into the GOAT debate.
Oh no! The first thing they say about Magic is that one series he played center, which he didn't even play center. He just tipped the ball off. And that's just the greatest thing ever. That was one game. They gassed that. He didn't even play center. He literally tipped the ball up. He was literally.
He started positionless basketball.
That's what I was saying to you guys. But that's what I was saying to you guys about the whole ESPN, NBC era of the 90s and how that era and the idea of the way they talked basketball to us at that time changed the way how we view basketball.
Yeah. Jordan said it himself. Him winning 3 titles in a row and not losing should put him as one of the greatest teams of all time.
They is. I think the 90s Bulls is whatever one you want to put. The 90s Bulls is the greatest.
And he said it because Magic and his counterparts never did it. That's why he said it.
I say because he three-peated twice, and we only seen one three-peat the Lakers. It's hard. People don't realize how hard it is to three-peat. Ask Kobe when he tried to do it by himself. Ask Bron. Bron made the plenty finals. He cannot. It's hard to three-peat, bro. It's hard, bro.
And for a team to do it twice, you have to go back to when Martin Luther King was alive.
The Warriors tried to do it, and they couldn't do it. They won and added Kevin Durant after winning 73 games, and they still could do it. Kevin Durant is hard.
Yeah, that's Jordan did that in the 90s. And that's why Dame Lillard and all the other players is trying to match that because of what Jordan did in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't think they don't deserve to be in that conversation. That's
like no one gave Reggie Miller any flack for not for losing in the finals. He got credit for making it to the finals.
Nah, we ain't gonna lie like that. We ain't start giving people
Reggie definitely gets credit for making it to the finals. Reggie Miller is a 3-time All NBA third team player, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Never heard.
Yes, Reggie Miller's career is boosted for making the finals.
We ain't doing that.
Reggie Miller's career is
boosted because he had the 3
Reggie Miller's career is boosted against the rivalry of the Knicks. That's
what making the finals.
That's it. No,
that's one of the biggest things on Reggie Miller's.
I ain't never heard that. I ain't never heard that in my life.
We ain't gotta lie.
No, making the finals one time in 17 seasons highlighted that much.
That was an accomplishment for making the finals. That's an accomplishment for making the finals.
If you want to say that, that's because he played with Jordan for majority of the career and couldn't do it until he left.
He capped.
If you want to take it that way,
that's no lie. Jordan's career, Reggie Miller's career is boosted for making the finals.
No, it's not.
It's boosted because he made the finals after Jordan left. Couldn't do it when Jordan was there.
No, that's not even the case.
Go ahead. Let SB talk. Go ahead, SB. Go ahead, SB.
If we gonna be honest, and we all grew up around the same, I believe we all around the same age. When we was younger, growing up, how the narrative was pushed. Charles Barkley was the poster boy. They always made fun of him because he did not get a ring. We didn't start appreciating making it to the finals until LeBron started doing it. We don't have to lie about it. That's what LeBron made us start appreciating how hard it actually was to make it into the final. Nobody didn't care about that. Reggie Miller didn't get no love. He got love for the Knicks. Right. Charles Barkley had an MVP season.
Thank you.
Nobody don't even talk about that. They just say you don't got a ring.
AI was praised for making the finals. What are y'all talking about?
I mean, what are y'all talking about? Y'all is using the same Jordan negative that Dave Lillard is talking about. That's the problem.
It is a problem.
Reggie Miller never wanted to leave his team because he wasn't getting criticized for not winning the titles. He was not getting criticized for losing. What you talking about? If Reggie Miller was getting criticized for losing, he would have thought about leaving his team.
What do you mean? Patrick Ewing signed with the Heat in 2012.
No.
What he's trying to say is this: rumors with Reggie Miller, he was going to. They were trying to recruit him. They were trying to recruit him to Boston. That was the rumors.
The thing about it is that I think I see what SB is talking about because I believe after 2007, when LeBron did take that Cleveland Cavalier team to the finals, a lot of people started saying, "Man, he's the GOAT," which is what people were saying after Jordan in '88, right? If you take Jordan,
it was still Kobe. Nobody was saying LeBron's the GOAT after 2. Come on down, don't make that up. Jason Kidd was getting credit for making the finals in back-to-back years.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
What are y'all talking about? You don't get credit for making the finals. This is this narrative that's out there. Of course you don't remember.
Of course
you don't remember.
I remember.
I remember.
Get it done.
Players got credit for making the finals.
I've never heard someone
how they do
Carmelo's making the final twice.
Until LeBron James made the finals, that's when players get this credit. Before, if you made the finals, you got credit for making the finals.
No, I think you get more credit for making the finals now.
You still get credit for making the finals. We talked about this with CP3. CP3's career was solidified.
CP3 got credit for making. What are y'all talking about? You don't get credit for making the finals.
Look what LeBron did it. LeBron did it.
Yeah, he just proving the point.
No, but Brandon's saying it's true.
CP plays in this era, and you gonna say that?
There was plenty of players.
What about Patrick Ewing? He made the finals with Jordan. No one says nothing about Patrick Ewing.
No, nobody. And that's my team. You can't say that. Patrick, nobody.
They do say
Patrick never credit nobody. Oh, you made it to the finals?
Patrick Ewing does not get discredit for making the finals. He gets credit.
He gets credit for
no, he
don't. That's not a negative mark on Patrick Ewing's career.
That's
not a negative mark on Patrick Ewing.
That's
not a negative on Patrick Ewing.
Trash take I ever heard. No, that's trash.
Take?
That is my team. No. Because Patrick never got no credit for that on making it to the final. Oh, he made it to the final.
Yeah, nobody.
No, get out of here. What they
you mean to tell me that Patrick Ewing
made it to the finals because Jordan was
Patrick Ewing making it to the finals is a negative thing.
You get credit for making the finals when Jordan's not there.
It's a negative thing and not winning. So Patrick Ewing has a negative mark because he lost to the finals. Is that what you're saying?
No, he don't get
Patrick
a negative
Ewing has a negative mark because he lost to the finals.
You get a negative for not having a ring.
Well, the problem is they don't praise it. That's what we're talking about. What are you talking about?
I said they praise it.
He gets credit for making the finals. Everyone gets credit for making the finals.
My God, no,
my wife still to this day talks about the 99 Knicks. Still to this day, my wife talks about the 99 Knicks making the finals.
Y'all are New York fans.
Narrative, they don't got nothing else to hope. What the Knicks done since 99? Nothing.
Don't do that, Asby. Don't do that, Asby.
You know it's true.
Don't do that, Asby.
What else can you praise? 99. Why do you think we say anything with my boys?
Listen, a matter of fact, we can just go back. We can just go back to Elgin Baylor and
mess
Jerry
with my
West.
team like that.
Hold on, wait. Elgin Baylor and Jerry West are praised.
So we praise making the finals when you lost more finals than one.
Praise it. I said you get credit for making the finals.
Got it. So you get praise if you have a losing record in the finals for making the finals.
Johnny just said the perfect name. Elgin Baylor was the GOAT of his time, but nobody credits him in the conversation of being. Elgin Baylor was a top 10 player. Even from Bill Russell said the greatest player of all time was Elgin Baylor. He don't get no credit because he don't got no ring. Nobody got him top 15, bro. But this is crazy.
But nobody ever says that because he's 0-8 that there's a knock. They actually give him credit for making the finals 8 times. No, they give him credit for making the finals 8 times.
West got a finals MVP for losing.
Listen, Jerry West.
I don't know how he got that.
Jerry West is 1-9. Jerry West is 1-8 in the finals. He's the logo, and not only that, he's known as Mr. Clutch.
You guys are proving this tape that Dave was talking about. You're proving it. You're proving it. You're proving it.
It's the GOAT debate.
That's why players sit out in low management because of this.
When Dr. J takes Philadelphia to the first finals in 1977 when he joins the NBA for the first time, he was praised for that, even though he lost.
No, he got praised when he got
praised. He got praised for when he won because they wanted him to win one in the NBA, but he had already won one in the ABA. But they were just saying, when is he going to win? Because he had already won several times. Even he said himself, making the finals has always been impressive. He said it himself. It
is when you have a losing record.
No,
it is when you have a losing record. That's when they praise it.
It's impressive at all times.
It's only impressive when you got a losing finals record. It's impressive because of the parents.
I think they don't
start praising it. 6-4. They say he got 6 championships. I never hear it. I never heard Magic Johnson 5-4. I heard he had 5 championships.
Yeah.
And who says 4-6?
Huh?
Who's the one that says 4-6?
When people say he made it 8 straight years.
They do. Both. They say both. I can't lie about that. They say both.
All you hear is 4-6. I
just think they say he got
20 times an hour.
I think.
Yeah, you're right. They do say 4-6. But the rebuttal is, hold on. They do say 4-6. I'll give you that. But the rebuttal, what we hear is 8 straight. That's the rebuttal off of the 4-6
with 2 different teams.
Yes, that's the rebuttal.
What you hear is he won 3 titles with 3 different teams. That's illegal.
Because the rebuttal is no matter what y'all say, it was better for LeBron James to be in those 6 finals than to not be in those 6 finals. And that's what you guys don't fail to realize. And that's why we bring up him going 8 times straight.
But y'all don't want to talk about the negatives. Losing in the finals.
It's not a negative to lose in the finals. It's the whole argument we're talking about right now.
It's a negative to lose regardless.
It's not a negative to lose in the finals.
No, I mean it is a negative to lose, but you can't add context to it. You can't just be like, you lost.
No context needed.
It's an accomplishment.
It's
an accomplishment to be in the finals. The same way he just said. The same he said we don't mention Kareem's 4 losses. We don't mention Kareem's 4 losses or Magic's 4 losses. Why are we measuring LeBron's 6 losses? Why can't we just say LeBron James is a 4-time champion and leave it at that? Why do we have to mention this? No.
But then you can't say he made 8 straight finals. Then you just say he won 4 championships.
That's what we're saying. We never.
Oh no, don't say that. All I've been hearing is 8 straight finals.
Said that that's the rebuttal to 4 and 6. If you don't say 4 and 6, we don't say 8 championship.
He wasn't 4 and 6 when he went 8 straight times.
Again, we don't. Again, to trump the 6 finals losses, we say that he made it 8 years in a row.
No, y'all say that he made 8 years ago when he wasn't 4 and 6 when he made it 8 years in a row.
Trump 6 finals losses to Trump 6 finals losses to Trump 6 finals losses. We use 8 straight finals appearances. And 8 straight finals appearances is a better mark than a negative mark of 6 finals losses.
The simple thing is no one gets a negative mark for losing the finals until LeBron lost in the finals. Everyone else, they got credit for making the finals. Simple as that.
I think they don't start getting credit until they actually won a championship. They never won a championship. They didn't care how many times they made it to the finals. They call Elgin Baylor a loser. They call Elgin Baylor a loser.
How you know they call Elgin Baylor a loser?
Because he lost.
Where's Elgin Baylor? Where's Elgin Baylor?
Come on now.
In general, y'all. People
don't. Y'all just making up stuff now. Y'all just making up stuff.
No, he just asked you a question.
How come he's one of the greatest players of all time? You don't got him ranked top 20 or something.
So if you don't have a ring, you're a loser.
That's the narrative that they use, yeah.
No, but no one has called Reggie Miller a loser.
They call Charles Barkley a loser.
You said it right. SB, you said it right. It's the narrative, and that's a false narrative. Yeah. It's a false narrative.
I don't agree with it. It's a narrative.
It's a false narrative. Players like Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley,
Patrick Ewing,
so they call LeBron James a loser for winning 4 titles.
No, he won. He got a championship. No, they don't.
No, they call him a loser. No, they call him a loser.
Where y'all be at? I don't understand.
No.
This is what y'all do.
They say he has a losing record. They say he has a losing record.
The loser.
They call him a loser.
That's LeBron haters, though. You can't care about.
That. If you want to talk about trolls, I will agree with you on
nobody
that.
Calls Elgin Baylor a loser. When you talk to real people that talk basketball, we don't say that. Yeah. Now, if you're talking about trolls, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
they do say that.
Y'all are using the same narrative.
Someone called John Stockton a loser.
Y'all are using the same narratives that Damian Lillard is talking about. The fact that
no one called Dominique a loser.
That's what Damian Lillard's trying to say. Don't call me a loser because I don't have a championship ring. Y'all are saying the narrative is if you don't have a ring, you're a loser.
But this is my point, and I'm saying I believe that, like I said, it's the GOAT debate. That's the problem. Stop holding everybody to these LeBron and Jordan. Lillard
that's what we're saying.
I agree. Okay, y'all agree with what I'm saying. They shouldn't be in the
before that. People got credit.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. The GOAT debate prior to Michael Jordan wasn't about rings.
Yeah,
it was about what you did on the basketball court, which is why Kareem was considered the GOAT or Oscar. Because I mean not Oscar or Dr. J or Dr. J or Magic or Bird, right? Exactly. They didn't go to championships. The championships was needed because there was a player there's a player that came after Jordan that was so outrageously good from our eye test. We saw something with our eyes with this kid that made us say, man, if this kid keep this up and he can win championships, how are we going to say he's not better than Jordan? So the thing was, well, he has to at least win 6. You have to be a winner. That's what Jordan was. He was a winner. Beyond the stats, beyond all these scoring titles, beyond everything, Jordan was an outright winner. When he got to the finals, he didn't lose. His skill, I mean, his killer instincts, his will to win was like no other. His competitiveness was so great, they called him Black Jesus. These are the narratives that are used that Damian Lillard's talking about that would take away Damian Lillard's greatness because we're just going to look at the fact that he could never get his team to the finals. He can never get his team past the championship round or anything of that sort. So no matter how great Damian Lillard is as a player with his production, all that he provided for the Portland Trailblazers, because he didn't win a championship, we're going to relegate his career to being a loser. And that's why
he said. And I 100% agree. I believe it's wrong. But Damian Lillard got so caught up putting himself in the conversation he don't belong in because if he actually looked, they are giving him credit to that. He's ranked top 75 all time.
That's true. That is true.
He's getting his credit. And I believe Damian Lillard is, I think, I don't know if people going to get mad at me about saying this. I took Larry Bird out of my top 5 shooters. I took Dame Lillard took his spot. I think I never seen nobody shoot the basketball like that.
As good as him. I agree with
you. Stat-wise, you can say that. Going by the numbers.
Yeah,
you can't argue.
But do you think? But see, this because Damian Lillard thinks that he's better than top 75 because the way he talks, he thinks he's like the top 2 or 3 best players in the league, but he doesn't get that recognition. Okay, all right.
No, he's nice though. Go ahead, though. But no, you said my top 5 shooters all time. I say Steph, Steph, Clay, KD, Ray Allen, Dame Lillard.
How come nobody has Nash?
Nash like probably
Not a
like
better
right
shooter
behind
than
him.
him.
Nah,
I'll say he could be in top 10.
Nash, listen, go look at Nash's numbers, man. His 3-pointers.
Is Nash a better
Numbers,
shooter than Kyle Korver?
his percentage was good, just like Steve Kerr. Like that doesn't mean that you're a better shooter. You if you want the ball at half court, who you taking? Dame Lillard or Steve Nash? You're gonna take Dame Lillard every time.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, Dame Lillard every time.
And he was the guy that team. Majority of those guys
did.
I said was the main shooter and the main scoring option. So to do that as the main scoring option in the secondary, I'm
Nash gonna give you 15. Dame gonna give you 30.
I'm taking.
While hitting more threes.
We're talking about shooting though. Who's the better shooter?
Dame. 100%. I'm taking Dame all day.
Damian, I'm saying I just find it weird because when I go look at the numbers,
bro, man, you contested half court threes, bro. That's ridiculous, bro. All net.
If you look at the numbers, you got to put Steve Kerr in the top two.
Yeah,
nah, because I think
is Nash a better shooter than Kyle Korver? Is he even a better shooter than Kyle Korver?
No, because I'm talking about field goal percentage, free throws, and 3-point percentage all together.
Yeah, when you look at it like that, you're gonna have a different.
Because I think Steve Nash is 49% from field regular, and then he's like 42% or 41% from 3-point land, and he's like 89 or 90 from the free throw, which is like
he was an amazing shooter.
That's what I'm saying.
An amazing shooter. Steve Kerr's an amazing shooter.
But I don't think that numbers are up there with him.
You have to add more to it, just the numbers. It's more to
Kerr definitely should be up there.
You know, the difficulties, how much you got the ball in your hand. It takes a lot with the shooter thing.
Yeah, because
in that case, like Bird's not even in the top 25. And we all know how good Bird is.
Yeah.
Don't start. Because for me, my top 5 shooters is Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. I have Steve Nash. I have Ray Allen. And then I have Kyle Korver. And I think it was Kyle Korver. Somebody
got Reggie.
Between Reggie and Kyle Korver. Because again, I just think if you're talking about volume shooter, if you want to say, okay, who's the best volume shooter, then that would make it. Yeah, then you would say Reggie. And I guess you would take Nash out because he's not really a volume shooter. But I just going off of the percentages, their efficiency.
I definitely got Reggie in the top 5.
Like with SB,
Reggie not in my top 5 either. Reggie overrated.
But he's a volume shooter.
Overrated?
So you know
he's
what?
not that much of a volume shooter.
But I would.
He's the only shot threes. That's not a volume shooter.
I would consider Damian over Kyle Korver. Yeah, I would put Damian over Kyle Korver.
I agree. Yeah, Reggie is overrated because they try to gaslight it because Mike said one statement in that one Knicks game. Don't get me wrong, Reggie turned up in the playoffs, but he ain't really do nothing his whole career.
Yeah, and they don't really have any big moments other than those 2 moments with the Knicks. That's all.
And the one we killing my Knicks because y'all gassing the play style because nobody actually seen nobody play like that in the 90s where the dude was running around like that's why he took advantage of. That's it. It was a play style.
He didn't shoot that many times a game. Yeah, I mean, I watched Reggie Miller all the time. He never impressed me.
Me either. Because
there's nothing on the court that Reggie couldn't take you one-on-one, could do nothing.
Bro, they got mad at me and I said, bro, if you look at Kyle Korver, Atlanta Hawks year when they ran the offense through him, play him side by side, Reggie, it looked exactly the same. So all he is Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver's a better shooter. And Kyle Korver's a better spot-up shooter.
Reggie,
he's a better spot-up shooter.
Don't get me wrong, he turned it up in the playoffs, though. I ain't gonna lie. I give him that. And when it's the playoffs, he played better, but I'm not impressed bad. I'm gonna keep it a bug with you.
Zero has
where you got Reggie at?
All time?
It's shooter.
Top 10. He top 10. He top 10.
Zero made a good point. Zero said if you won a championship, no matter how many times you lost, you're a winner. So
yeah, that's how they go by it. Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. So Elgin's a loser because he lost 8 times, but if he had that one championship, that would have called
him a winner. Yep. That's
just like Dirk Nowitzki. Everybody forget 2006 because of 2011.
Yep. They said he couldn't get it done. That's dumb. It's dumb to me. I think it's stupid, but yes, that's what they do.
The same way people forget Curry in 2016 because of 2017 and 2018, obviously in 2022.
Yep. I think it's dumb.
I mean, they just go by a narrative. Like Isaiah Thomas is considered a loser, and he won 2 titles because he didn't shake Jordan's hand. LeBron is considered a loser because he didn't win every finals he did.
I don't think he's a loser.
No, right calls
yes, does. Yeah. He's a better loser.
I don't.
They call me
Thomas.
Maybe the one in Boston. Maybe Boston Isaiah Thomas. But I never
Bro,
heard.
I don't know what y'all
I've
be
had-
watching or reading, but
I'm
that's
gonna
not
say
what I see.
Isaiah Thomas. I
You gotta
want to
show
say
me.
he's a
Send that
loser.
to me. Send it to me on TikTok. I need to point me in the direction of that because who calls Zeke a
Put
loser?
that in the book. That going in. That
Yeah,
was
I-
going in
I-
the
I
book.
can't
From
call him a
Boston
loser.
Celtics, Isaiah
Isaiah
Thomas.
You can't be a
Thomas,
loser when you win 2
bitter.
titles.
That's why I don't understand how LeBron's a loser with 4
Bitter?
titles as well. He's bitter.
Well,
He's
LeBron ain't
he's
no
a
loser.
jealous.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
I-
They say about Isaiah. Let me ask you a question. How do y'all
I
consider a
heard-
dynasty? Is Detroit considered a dynasty?
The Bad Boys?
The Bad Boy Pistons, is that considered a dynasty? Because I've heard people tell me that you have to have 3 championships to be a dynasty or something.
I mean,
They
that's what
have a
usually
whole-
go by.
They have a whole name after them, the Bad Boys. Of course, that's a dynasty.
Right? Okay, because that's what I wanted to make sure, because I know people were trying to tell me that, because I was trying to tell them if that's the case, then the Lakers didn't have a dynasty.
Lakers a dynasty.
That's what I'm saying, because they didn't win 3
Call it
championships.
Showtime.
No, he's about the Paul Gasol Lakers with Kobe. He's about them Lakers.
Yeah, like them Lakers.
Well, a lot of people say at least
No, that's
3
not a
finals
dynasty.
appearances.
That's what I say too. I say 3 finals appearances is very important. If you have 3 finals appearances
Okay,
and at least 2 championships, you should be considered a dynasty.
Okay, I can get along with that. Two championships, 3 finals appearances, and they in a row too, or in like a 4 or 5 years.
I would say it has to be 3 in a row. That's what I would say.
I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Detroit would be a dynasty. They made it 3 years and won 2.
Yeah,
That's why they still talk about them today.
That's why I don't have the Spurs as a dynasty, because the Spurs didn't go to back-to-back finals. Like they have 3 championships within like a 4 or 5 year span, but they didn't go to back-to-back titles.
We gotta reevaluate.
I think the Spurs is the only. I think they're the only exception because they was great.
They were so consistent. They was consistent.
20 years. They was winning 50 games for 12 years straight.
They won a title in 3 different decades.
So what would be their dynasty then? When their dynasty start and end? When did it start?
We have a few dynasties.
90.
They have at least 2.
20
they got at least 2.
I think the team success.
It's called the Tim Duncan dynasty.
That's like Jordan. They got 2 dynasties.
I say that
Jordan
I agree. Jordan
set
has
with
2
2 different dynasties.
Jordan's the only him and Kobe the only player with 2 dynasties. Unless you want to count Bill Russell's separate the 8 championships.
Yeah, Bill Russell got 1 dynasty.
That ain't separate.
They got 1 dynasty.
That ain't separate.
That's
they all
continued
played
dominance.
together so many years.
That's continued dominance.
So wait, I give y'all boy Bron the heat that the Beatles is a dynasty. Dang, I can't really say the Cavs because Kyrie Irving left, bro. Yeah,
and they only won 1 championship. They won 1 championship, so I wouldn't consider that a dynasty. So they
could have won more. You know, they went to go get KD, but they was on bully.
I mean, I would say the Lakers have 2 dynasties too of the 80s, because I consider the early 80s Lakers to be a different team than the late 80s Lakers. So I would consider that 2 dynasties because they won 2 championships in 3 years.
So that all one. That's all one. That's 1 dominance. 1 dominance throughout.
So how is Jordan 2 then?
Because there's 2 separate teams, completely separate teams with years with.
But there was 2 separate teams
2 years apart.
Too. Yeah, because
there were 2 separate Lakers teams.
Yeah, I want to say that too.
Not really. Not really.
Worthy wasn't there. Scott and Green.
Worthy came in 82 now.
It was only Kareem, just like Jordan and Pippen. It was Norman Mixon and the other guy
was there.
I don't separate them. I just put them in one. Like the 90s Bulls is just one big dynasty, both sides, one dynasty. In the 80s, one big dynasty.
What was the guy that played for the Warriors and he was on the Lakers as well? I forget. I can't get his name right now. Wilkins. Is it Wilkins? No.
Jamal Wilkes.
Jamal Wilkes. Jamal Wilkes.
They was stacked too.
I don't think Jamal Wilkes was on the 85 team. I think his last.
No, he wasn't. It was Michael Thompson and I think
because they added McAdoo. That's what I'm saying. Like that first the 80 championship and the 82 championship team was different than the 85, 87, and the 88 team.
And that team Ralph, and that's why I told you yesterday on your live that narrative for super teams don't exist. The 80s, they was stacked, bro. Literally, I told you that like the super team narrative was only made to diminish LeBron and Kevin Durant's career. That's it. The 80s Lakers was stacked, bro. The 80s Celtics was stacked. Only 2 teams. You only got 2 teams.
They all say that the Bulls lost to a super team, so it don't really matter.
Yeah, the Bulls was a super team. If that's the case, like all them teams.
I'm talking about the Celtics. Like they say he lost, so everyone knows there's star-studded teams. It's just a narrative that the media made up.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't start doing that until KD. Like, I mean, actually, I was on a live with you, the very first live. I mean, I got crucified by SB. I ain't gonna lie about that super team situation. He almost put me in the book. So I was like, yo, I really started thinking about it afterwards. I was like, yeah, they were right. And we're calling it a big 3 before all that.
But to be fair, why they do it with the super teams? Because when we really think about it, when was the last time what other free agent market was ever as big as 2010? Like when we really think about it, like
it was a big free agent market. It was just because of LeBron and Bosh.
Market.
No, but I'm saying
you had
there was a lot of players available.
You had a lot of players. Yeah, it was Carlos Boozer, Amari Stoudemire switched teams as well. Joe Johnson.
It wasn't dramatic. It was just because
Joe Johnson went to the
caliber
Nets.
of players. So it was it
was a lot. I know you're talking about it, Johnny. It was Joe Johnson, Carlos Boozer, Amari Stoudemire. Then you had Chris Bosh, D Wade. You got to put D Wade. He was a free agent, and you had LeBron. It was a big free agent class. It was. I remember.
When was the last time the best one of the best players in the league, which was LeBron and Kobe at that time, was an actual free agent available to go to any team like prior to that?
Nah, really, they get them locked down. They get them locked down quick.
I don't think it was a big deal. I don't think it was a big deal.
No, I agree with Brandon that it was because they joined together. Everybody was upset. But my thing is that the opportunity to have such a caliber of players to actually join together was probably never ever available to us through free agency. It was usually through a trade, right? All these teams that we're talking about with the super teams were all trades. I don't know if McAdoo got traded to the Lakers or he signed as a free agent. I don't know if Bill Walton signed as a free agent. I don't know.
Well, McAdoo was old too.
No, like Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson goes to the Boston Celtics. He was a prime player, all defensive player in '83. I know Moses was traded. Traded, but I don't know if these are free agents acquired. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Shaq was a big time free agent acquiree. Alonzo Mourning was a big time free agent acquiree. Lamar Odom was a big time free agent acquiree.
I don't think nothing big in 2010. Think about it, because so many names. And then the reason why people don't realize this, the decision was bad, LeBron admitted, but the real impact that LeBron had leaving Cleveland, he was the money, bro. They were starving once LeBron left, bro. That's where the real problem came in. They lost so much money when Bron left. Cleveland didn't have nothing. It was Bron and nothing. What you gonna go Cleveland and do at that point in time? If you ain't going to see the Cavaliers, ain't no point of going out there. It wasn't nothing else to do. You see Joe Kino, and nobody ever goes on vacation to Cleveland. You think it's fun here? Like, it was the facts. That's what a real big problem was. People don't want to talk about the business side. If LeBron could have left and they would have still been like the same market wise, they wouldn't even care.
Well, nobody was going there anyway. Even if it was a big market, like we don't see those big free agents going to Chicago. Like before Kobe, there was no big free agents going to any other teams. Like this narrative of big market teams, that's not even true. Like no one went to the Lakers when Kobe was there, really.
Nope.
I mean, no free agents was signing with these big market teams.
If the Bulls, Lakers, and Knicks couldn't sign people because ain't no way in hell Cleveland wouldn't get nobody.
Like
one of our best free agent signings was Carlos Boozer and Pau Gasol, DeMar DeRozan, trash.
I mean, the Knicks actually haven't had a big free agent sign. When has the Knicks had a big free agent sign?
Julius Randle or Amari started.
No, don't you put Julius? You know I want to trade.
He is one.
He brought y'all back to the playoffs.
That's not a big signing. That's not a big signing at all.
I mean,
I'll say Amari.
He wasn't a big time free agent going into that offseason, so I would agree. Yeah, he wasn't. But it was a big signing for them. He ended up being a very good.
Amari was the last big signing we had.
It was Amari. Amari was the last big.
Because you had.
If Melo would have just been patient and just waited till the offseason, y'all would have been nice.
No, what it was, no. Here's the thing. What it was James Dolan. He wasn't patient because Donnie Walsh did not want to do that trade. And James Dolan came in, was like, make that trade. And he traded up all our young assets, plus draft picks, and just to get an older Chauncey Billups and Melo.
Yep, I was competitive.
And like a bunch of role players.
And you know what? And the funny thing about that 2010 offseason, the only reason we even had that kind of an offseason was because of players like Allen Iverson and a few players that were drafted in the late 90s that got big contracts as rookies, and the veterans were upset about that. So the NBA changed the rules to where they only had those 4-year deals, so you didn't have to spend 7, you know what I'm saying? So LeBron James and all of them took advantage of those little 4-year player option deals so that they were available in 2010. So that's a lot of stuff that people don't actually factor into, that whole free agency market. But again, it's easy to just say narratives, right? It's just easy to say he's just clicking up, he's jumping teams. than to think that, okay, well, maybe this was just his best option. Which it really was. It was just his best option. Really was.
It was the Kevin Garnett deal that really broke everything because it was like a 7-year, 8-year deal, 137 mil when he signed with the Timberwolves, and like that at that time that contract was so huge, everybody was like raising a lot of eyebrows. So it's like that's when they came with the rules to where the max years is 5 years now.
Hey, I'm sitting here laughing, looking back at this, bro. These mans really threw a parade when they signed Bron. Hey, Pat Riley is a hole, bro. I'm sitting going back thinking about it, bro. He real like threw a whole party.
But we did that with Shaq when we got Shaq. Listen, when we got Shaq, they threw a whole parade. Shaq came down here with the water guns.
With the Lakers, right? Yeah, they did throw a parade for Shaq, bro.
We did throw a parade for Shaq. We did. We had a parade for Shaq. And the thing that you're watching for the Heatles or the Big Three for the Heat, that was just for us. That was shown only on a regional TV. That wasn't even shown on national television.
That was gonna be on. They
but eventually they got the courtesy rights to get it. Yeah, but that was just supposed to be for the Miami Heat fans. It wasn't for the world to see. It was because it was such a big deal that everybody.
It was Bron.
Now that free agency year, I mean, the top 12 was like LeBron, Chris Bosh, D Wade. You had even Dirk was a free agent. Of course, he didn't leave. David
Dirk,
Lee.
Joe Johnson, Amari, Boozer, David Lee, Paul Pierce.
I mean, Paul Pierce was a free agent. That free agency was stacked, and some of them did stay. I think only like 5 of them really left.
Most people stayed. So that's why it wasn't a big deal to me because no one really left. They just got more money.
I'm not saying it was a big deal.
It was like the top.
I'm not saying as far as the trend. I'm just saying as far as the amount of players. And the caliber of the players that was actually available for teams to try to coerce to come to their team. That was like a big offseason compared to prior to that. I don't think we ever had an offseason like that until maybe Kevin Durant's offseason in 2018.
I think what it was, the reason why it was really big is because the top 5 players left. LeBron, well, D Wade didn't leave, but Bosh, Carlos Boozer, I mean Amari, those were the top of the cream of the crop at the time, so that's why it was really big.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, we've been going for a long. This is the longest show we've ever done.
I'm glad y'all was still on. I'm glad y'all was still on.
It was a good show, man. Peace out to all our subscribers. Peace out to everybody on Facebook. Again, TikTok, you guys can catch SB Talk Sports on TikTok, Ralph Alexander on TikTok. You can catch Craig on Facebook. You can catch us on Facebook. Y'all make sure to check out our channel, check out our membership, click the like button, share our content. And again, if you guys want Brandon and I to come on your content on your program, we're more than willing to do such. Just reach out to us at GoatJamesKingdomShow@gmail.com. And you can talk to us and we'll definitely be available. But it was definitely a good show, guys, because we got a chance to really get out a lot of energy. But it is Sunday, and we all got family, and we should get to our family. So, but let the last word go in. SB, you can start off with your last words, and we'll let Ralph go, and then Craig.
Oh, man, good show, man. Appreciate you having me on. Anytime you need me on again, let me know.
Yeah, yes, I appreciate you because you're actually one of the most you're the most reasonable Jordan fan. I know you said you're not a Jordan.
I'm not a Jordan fan. Look, hold on, wait. Just because it say 99 champions.
Don't do that.
No, wait.
I'm reasonable too.
Just because it's got this, I'm from Chicago. I'm a Derrick Rose fan. I thank Michael Jordan for giving us history, but I could give 2 F's about Jordan and Jordan because I didn't get to enjoy the parade, so I don't care.
I know. I remember you told me that, but again, Ralph and Craig are on the other side of the spectrum. They are the 10 toes down Jordan fans. They're going to fight nail and tooth about Michael Jordan, and we love it and we appreciate it. And they know they're well respected here. So go ahead, Ralph. Finish up, Ralph. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can follow me on TikTok. Yeah, you can follow me on TikTok at Ralph Alexander 65, and Facebook MJ the Real Goat MJ 23.
Yes, he does have a Facebook group for all you Jordan fans. You can go there and watch me and Brandon troll about LeBron James. Go ahead, Craig.
I ain't got much to say. Just catch me on Facebook in the comments.
Catch me in the comments. Yeah, again, listen, guys, you're more than welcome to join our show. We'll be back next Sunday. But again, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the join membership. This is Goat James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. You guys enjoy your Sunday. Everybody have a blessed day.
See y'all.
See y'all, guys. Peace good.